We're going.
And welcome back to Oasis Valley Mysteries. Last time we picked up after a small hiatus to a new mystery as seemed late at night a drug deal gone wrong devolved into violence and possible supernatural influences. Alerted to the case, Hanzo was dispatched by Pluripotent to investigate due to a possible connection thanks to a drug derived from the superorganism. But while there, he was also noticed that, or was pointed out that the bodies of the bikers seemed to sport strange wounds that they couldn't be explained in comparison to those that were gunned down. Uh, During her daily routine, Olivia was called out to a farm to pick up a javelina, originally assumed to be a victim of a coyote, but upon picking it up, the wounds did not seem to match a typical coyote attack. And once at the lab, the sort of roadkill autopsy revealed that a broken tooth fragment within it and bite patterns that did not match anything that Olivia or Dr. Lucia recognized. All this going on, Winifred was getting off of work from a long night of traveling the superorganism, mapping out some of the new area revealed after returning Thundar and the Scorplidite to the superorganism. And the group gathered, exchanged theories, uh, developing new ideas, and with Hanzo's arrival, wondered if whatever killed that poor Javelina might have a connection to this biker gang. And as the group decided to split up, mostly to wait for the fall of night, we left off as the group split up, and oh shoot, sorry, I'm suddenly blanking. This is what happens when I don't pre-write things.
It's all good.
Uh, Split up. The groups wait out for nightfall. It was the middle of the afternoon. Winifred went to bed. But actually, I guess the first thing would be Olivia and Connor. You were going to the preserve. That doesn't need the wait of night. So we'll start with you two. You two
It
were
was
taking
me and Tommy, yes?
no,
Just Connor.
you and Connor.
Okay. I thought Tommy was coming too.
You were going.
No.
I think he was at one point, but he changed his mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on our way there.
Oh, sorry. So, I guess as you drive up, Olivia, you see, Connor, you were here before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you?
Probably
Yeah, you
the
were.
first, probably the first time. I was at night though, so this is the first time seeing it at the day, unless you'd been here before. But it looks more like a zoo than a wilderness research thing, because there's in one paddock you see some rhinos, you see some giraffe necks sticking up, and at first you think it might be a giraffe, but then you realize, oh, that's the moa, and you see a flock of of other birds. They just typical ostriches, but they're not. Ostriches aren't too weird of a sight around Oasis Valley. There are a few farms, but the Yeah, and actually in the distance you do see a lone elephant just kind of lumbering around in the same pen as the giraffes and the rhino.
Mm-hmm. Like Connor's been there before, but he probably hasn't,
Look. Sorry, you're right.
he probably hasn't spent like significant time there. But he's certainly done a walkthrough once or twice.
Yeah. It's
Nonetheless,
kind of
it's
like
human
one of the
nature
local
to
landmarks.
see an animal and then shout out its name.
Olivia does, wave to some of the animals as she heads in. Do I see the bird?
Yeah, it's often that's one thing in its pen, just pecking away at this trough that's full of like berries and roots. It takes a lot to feed it.
Olivia gives that one the whole "I'm watching you" thing that
Oh,
killed
not the
Tommy.
moa.
Okay,
You mean? Okay,
The
so
bigger-
I think we got mixed up at one point. The moa, besides the encounter with Tommy, is fairly chill.
Oh,
Birds you've had a problem with, Jeremiah, is just a run-of-the-mill emu, but he is a bastard.
As all emus are.
I thought the moa was the one who was a bit of a bit.
No,
It's
sorry,
just an
I should have
emu?
clarified this before. Yeah, no, the emu, because they escape their owner's yard. The owner's kind of a slacker, but they don't. It's not. They take care of it enough that you can't take it away.
Mm-hmm.
But it likes to start fights with people's dogs as they're walking. It likes to go chase after cars. It doesn't like strollers. It's just a real bastard, and kind of like Karen.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's the one that gave you the scar. The moa, besides the encounter with Tommy, is just normally fairly chill. Like I mean, as chill as a large land animal can be. They still have their moments where you don't want to piss them off, Still a lot of animal.
It's always me and the birds.
All I could think of when you were describing all the animals, I remembered a post saying I was traveling through the countryside. I was like, "Oh, a sheep!" And then it looked at me. Its neck extended, stretched higher and higher, and I'm wondering what abomination is this? And then I realized, oh, that's an alpaca.
Same.
Yeah, but for a hot minute, your world's perspective just crashes.
Yeah.
I love that post.
It's great.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay.
My cat is yelling. I have to go see what that is. 1 second.
Oh, I don't hear.
At least she screamed.
Yeah, Connor's just kind of following along.
From the distance.
He doesn't
Just
seem.
love to hear cats get scolded.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
It's fine. So he doesn't seem terribly intimidated by the animals. Just kind of like, oh, that's neat.
Have you been here before, Connor?
Once or twice. I did a walkthrough. I did like stay. I think I had lunch like next to one of these places to watch.
It's pretty magical seeing something that was extinct now back in the.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Would make it even cooler. Bunch of hybrid animals.
Wait, are you with us?
No, I'm not. But I just wanted to. I saw an opportunity for a joke. I'm just saying, we got extinct animals. Why don't we just mash a couple of them up? See what happens.
Oh, I see why this guy was mad.
Yeah, Fred is like, yeah, wouldn't it be fucked up if a sheep just had a long neck?
So,
Yeah, it's an alpaca, Fred. See, it's already been done.
So
I know.
Here go.
I had a bit of. We got off to a little bit of a rough start when I had to take a snake out of your house. Poor thing was just looking for some warmth, but you know.
Look, if you're in the middle of the night and something just wraps around you, you're going to freak out.
Motion.
Just raises his eyebrow at that. You know, so I should
You
should
don't know
totally
you don't
just
know all my life.
I should totally just break into your house and randomly hug you, right?
I mean, there's a difference between feeling like an animal and feeling a person.
When you're half awake, there's not really much difference between person, animal, and what the fuck was that?
Cuddling with a sufficiently large animal is indistinguishable from a person. I would know. I have a pit bull.
Yeah.
True. Either way, I know like we got a bit of a rough start, but yeah, you're right, Connor.
Thanks. I just thought you were.
I'm sorry. What?
I just thought you were fine. I didn't know you had a thing against me.
I didn't have a thing against you, but that snake was terrified, so. So were you, but I spent more time with the snake. And that's on me. And I'm sorry.
No, that's your job. I don't really hold it against you.
Yeah, but I know I was a little short with you about it, so you know.
Just blinks at
About
that.
what?
You know?
As you hear Lucia, just by this point you'd be walking into like the lab area, and she just kind of leans out one of the doors. She's like, "Wait, what? Oh, hi, and
Hey.
you're Connor, right?
Yeah, hello.
I don't
I'm
think we've
Connor.
met. Lucia, this is Connor. Connor,
Yes.
this is Lucia, my boss.
Offers a gloved hand. Hello, Connor Wilkinson.
And she shakes your hand and goes, "Dr. Lucia," and she doesn't give her last name though, but she goes, so you what's up, Olivia?
I got the tooth back, and I got some other news through other means.
And she like kind of looks around because it was just like one of the random veterinary rooms, and she was helping someone else like do a leg splint on like a wallaby, but she goes, I can handle the rest of this. Let's go to my office.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she leads
yeah.
the both of you to her office, and it's a quaint little place, cluttered.
You get to go into the boss lady's office. That's not very normal for someone who doesn't work here.
And you hear her as she's walking, and she's like, "Don't make it weird, Olivia." But you could tell she said it in like a joking tone.
Yeah. That laugh was in character.
I can't believe
that laugh came through. I don't think it came through.
I can't believe Olivia was one of the kids who went "ooh" when someone went to the principal's office.
No.
Yeah, she lets you in, and it's pretty cluttered. She goes, "So this two turned out to be more than just a mountain lion." Easy.
Well, easy. You ever? I know it's not your area of expertise, but have you ever like studied vampire fangs?
Chupacabras many times, and I mean I've looked at the medical reports once the vampire populace started, forget the phrase, coming out of the coffin.
Look at
Oh.
I could just hear Winifred in her sleep going as she rolls over in bed.
Rolls over in her grave, which is also her coffin.
Like her bed, which is also a coffin.
Just she suddenly feels in the depths of sleep a metaphysical pain.
God.
Sorry. Did
Because,
you
but
ever?
I
in all
never,
that, did you ever
like-
hear?
Check that.
In all that, did you ever like catch wind or anything of like? How do I word this? Other like supernatural air quotes humans.
She like kind of frowns and thought, just was like, "You're gonna have to elaborate a little more." I mean, what are you getting at?
Werewolves. Here in the
Werewolves.
castle.
Get out of here! Chew your
Oh, come
own
on, the
scenery.
Mel Brooks movie.
Chew your own scenery.
I'm just imagining Olivia has like a ghost Fred hovering over her.
Saying all the
That's
cheesy
so
one-liners
funny.
she wishes she could articulate.
I don't sleep in a coffin because I'm a vampire. I do it because I'm goth.
Oh fuck. Anyway. Werewolves. This tooth belongs to a werewolf. Or another were something.
Just gives Olivia a side eye, like, really?
If I can't trust her, who can I trust?
I just say this is kind of a big thing.
It is, but like, I can't exactly dance around the topic of werewolf tooth or therianthrope tooth.
I mean, and Lucy's like, I mean, we could genetically test it.
That's
To
why I
take
have
a-
the tooth. I was hoping for that, but
Or werewolfism.
like vampires exist. This isn't that much stranger. We fought a fucking mobile heart not too long ago. Werewolves is comparatively not as bizarre.
Yeah, you got a
I mean,
point. And also,
Get
here,
out of here!
And Lucy goes, I'm not disbelieving you. I've seen some weird shit living in this town over a subterranean superorganism. Things
Yeah.
are weird.
Yeah. This tooth
And-
belongs to a were or something. And if I hadn't, gone through a life or death situation with the people who told me that, I wouldn't have believed it myself.
There. And she goes, well, if you give me the tooth, we'll...
Oh,
Easy connection.
easy,
Oh, no.
easy.
But she goes, if just, leave the tooth with us, we'll test it, maybe see if it matches a known animal, or possibly even a human fragment.
Yeah, Sarah,
Yes.
how surprised or not surprised does she seem at this?
She seemed skeptical, but not really surprised.
I see.
It's kind of just like, huh, Ellie, okay, kind of
Okay.
attitude.
so she's not part of the secret government program to make werewolf super soldiers. Got it.
Not
God.
yet.
So she'll take the tooth and take it to the lab. They've got some fancy pluripotent gene sequencing stuff there.
Yeah.
But she goes, well, it'll take a few hours, before, might even be until tomorrow. So it's such a small fragment. It's weird to say, but if you had more of this werewolf, we could test them out better.
Bring
Again,
in that
I
werewolf
am not.
skull.
I am not endorsing you to go hunting werewolves.
I
But
don't.
if you find
listen,
fur,
if this is that, they're likely just people like vampires are.
I mean, this is out of my wheelhouse. A heart monster. That's something I can wrap my head around. That thing was created using.
How is that easier to wrap your head around than a werewolf?
Well, it's just a heart, for one thing.
Not just a heart.
I mean, living heart tissue coming out of the giant superorganism you live above.
Yeah, superorganism, vampires. This feels like a strange place to draw the line.
I was gonna say, when you asked her, it's like, how is the heart easier to accept? She kind of clammed up. She's just.
Right. Why is the heart narrows her eyes?
And she kind of
the heart
she sighs,
easier?
glances at Connor, and goes, "Oh, I worked with pluripotent studying the superorganism. There's some weird shit down there."
Yeah.
Well, she wouldn't say weird shit. She's just like, there are some weird things down there that I'm still amazed every time I hear about the new finds. So I can
a moving predatory heart.
You should get your friend Winifred to tell you about the red weed.
Okay.
That thing push.
And to be fair, a living red heart hasn't starred in a film with Lon Chaney.
What?
I'm not gonna see that on TNT's Monster Madness.
What?
I wonder what happened to the first person to smoke that red weed.
Okay, I really should have updated the term. There's a lot of characters.
I mean, if it helps, as an H.G. Wells nerd, I just thought of War of the Worlds.
I mean, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. Hey, I love meat moss as much as the next person.
Just also love stoner humor.
Yeah. And sometimes you gotta smoke that dank kush, even if it's red.
By smoke it, we mean set that bitch on fire.
Bitches love fires.
And you did set that heart on fire.
Hearts on fire, hearts on fire.
Hearts on fire.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm sorry, it's just my own personal steps. I come from a background of science. I know there are supernatural things out there. It's just something.
No.
It's just, Olivia, I take this down to the lab. I'll call you. Just be careful. I know the moon's getting fuller, so just be careful. That even is a thing with werewolves. If werewolves are a thing. She's like, I guess I could call some people who might know, although you seem to have a good handle on that on your end.
Yeah,
finding
hold
out
off
that
on
it is a
that one.
werewolf.
It's like, if this is what this is, they're just a person who happens to shapeshift. I don't want to assume that, they're a murderer or something.
Yes, it was on a javelina, and goodness knows there's plenty of those running around the valley.
Yeah, yeah. Someone who turns into an animal.
Honestly, the
eating another,
coyotes and mountain
eating other
lions
animals, not.
could probably use the help in finding them out. He gives
Yeah.
us like little chuckle. She kind of like looks to kind of goes, well, welcome to the preserve. It's weird here.
Yeah, I've noticed.
She goes, well, unless there's anything else, Olivia, I'm going to go take this to lab and get started on it.
I don't think so. You got anything, Connor?
Not really. I just gotta making sure everything is okay here.
Yeah, I'll. Yeah, then we're good. That's it.
As you like turn to split up, Connor, it's a pretty common sight. You realize that once your back is turned, you kind of glance back, and she goes and like goes for hand sanitizer. He was being polite, but she could hear the sickness.
No, that's completely fine. He carries his own hand sanitizer on him, and he makes sure to wear gloves. But even then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you're free to do what you want. Both of you are just kind of waiting for that and news on your friends. I don't know if Hanzo has given any of you his car phone number, so I don't know if you'd be able to get a hold of him. So
I do not have his car number. I have a radio.
but,
We should buy like more of these and pass them around so we can contact each other easier.
it's not a bad idea.
honestly, if you wanted, because you are at your haven, you could probably raid some of the walkie-talkies if you really want to, because there are some like working on the preserve or as you've done going out.
I want to do that.
So yeah, you stock up, and we're gonna do a little time skip, but you two are free to do whatever, like wander the preserve. There's the
Olivia,
big
what gives you
aviary
colors for
dome.
the
There's the reptile and invertebrate buildings. Reptile, amphibian, and invertebrate buildings.
What are in those?
I will have to get back to you on that. I have more ideas for the aviary because there's more of like, oh yeah, Connor, that's something you would have seen in Lucia's lab. There is a parakeet just kind of roaming around her lab. Seems to have free range.
Oh, neat.
I offer
And,
cracker.
oh yeah, Eli would definitely fly down and happily take it. Carolina parakeet, one of the extinct native parrots of North America. But yeah, there's so I think we'll do a small little time skip towards dusk. Unless there was something anyone else wanted to do during that, like Hanzo, Fred, and Carlos.
You were going to a biker bar, so
yeah. Carlos did say that it would probably be more active closer to sunset because it doesn't really. And actually, Carlos, you would know Phil, the owner. He doesn't work. He sleeps during the day and works at night because that's just as far as you know, that's just how he lives. because
That's
it's
been-
better for the owner to be on site during the night when the bikers are actually in the bar than during the day when the people who are struggling with their life are in the bar.
Yep. Makes sense.
Um,
So,
well,
go ahead.
so the three of you, if there's anything you wanted to talk about while waiting or do anything.
All right. So what's
Or
our
just-
strategy here? Good talk, gang.
So
Sorry,
real
I'm trying to balance this and cooking.
So there's a couple of options. The ideal one is we just kind of go in, try to blend in with the crowd, but not like awkwardly so.
So should we
And
all
I
dress
go-
like bikers?
No, that'll get you stabbed.
You know, I've been thinking about getting a leather jacket.
Not saying you wouldn't look good in a leather jacket. I think you would, but you would put some sort of patch that means something that you don't know what it means, and probably get stabbed. At least that's what I'm told.
So don't put on patches. Got it.
But ideally, we go in. I'm gonna go talk to Phil.
All right, I'm gonna go hit the thrift store real quick, try and get that leather jacket.
You know what? You go do that, Fred. I'll go over to the that one. There is that one shop in the mall that might have a good jacket for you.
Did
You know,
Tom- or
we went there last time.
did Fred go to the courier shop? I can't remember who went last time. I know Carlos and Olivia did.
I know just the place to find you the right leather jacket.
Pretty sure I went there.
Hanzo knows where it is. So we can carpool together so we're not driving separate. Because the last time we left that you drive separate, Fred, you got attacked by a giant crocodile and a chupacabra in the middle of town.
That is true. I remember that happening.
So while we're waiting for time to pass, we should make our way over there, get you your leather jacket. I'm going to talk to the owner there a little bit, get some information, and then we'll go to the bar and we'll go talk to Phil.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna say that once the plan was made to head to the bar, Hamza was going to make a brief detour to his apartment to change out of his work suit so it doesn't appear so conspicuous.
Makes sense, bud.
Put on the Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah, let's say that. He's got the obnoxiously American appearance. It's like, yes, I'm a real American man.
He fights for the rights of every man.
He does make a point, though, that his shirts are very long sleeved. They go all the way down to the wrist.
Have we ever seen your wrist, without something covering your wrist?
He's been in a suit the entire time we've known him. Carlos is just half excited to see him and not in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's what you need to do, bud, I can take Fred over to the mall. If you want to do that now.
Yeah, that's what it will go and do.
Come on, Fred, we're going to hop in the jalopy and we're going to go over to the mall.
Okay.
You know, like
Driving
the
the jalopy, you might be able to catch up with them. You'll be able to change and then catch up with them.
Mhm.
But doesn't Fred also have a vehicle? I'm trying to remember.
Yes,
who
he
all has
does.
cars.
He has a shitty car.
That's right. That's right.
It was the one that the truck.
Oh,
chased
that's
us.
right. Yeah, the Road King chased you all in.
Yep.
Which wasn't
Because it was
terrifying
after
at
it-
all.
It was
Yeah,
after its
definitely
main
not.
quarry, a middle-aged white man.
And a hitchhiker.
I mean, Fred
We
is
could probably
partially
pass as a
based on the
hitchhiker.
main character from Duel, so that makes sense.
Precisely.
Yeah. Absolutely fair.
You're the primary prey
I
item.
love that movie.
I do too.
You insulted its honor.
So, yeah, so you go down to the Curios and Curiosity shop, I believe I called it. Yeah.
Now, if they don't have something here, there is the shop on the corner here in the mall that has a no-house leather jackets.
I also live here, so I know some places you can shop too.
That's fair. But I just assume you don't have a lot of money.
I don't. That's why I know places to shop.
So, you go into the little, it's very small looking building from the outside, as you've seen. But once you open it, you realize it goes pretty far back. And sitting at the front, once again, you see the same disinterested teenager. Kind of glances up from the magazine they're reading and goes, and then they call out, "Grandma, customers," and they go back and look back to their magazine, turn a page and re-crank up the sound of their cassette tape. And shuffling around the piles and hordes of knickknacks and traded in goods, you see the elderly woman come around and she goes, "Oh, hello again. Welcome back."
It's just really good to see you again. This is Fred Klutzman. He's a good friend of mine. Fred's in the
Very
neighborhood
nice to meet you,
for...
Fred.
Fred's in the
I'm looking
neighborhood...
for a leather jacket, my good man.
And she goes, "Well, we do have a very nice clothing section right this way." And she turns and shuffles off. And yeah, there's a further back. There is a section where it's like the racks of clothing hanging on hangers, and it's just there really doesn't seem to be much beyond just this being a clothing area. There doesn't seem to be much of like organization. So you're going to have to roll a. Oh no! Don't tell me I lost it. No, that's my reference sheet.
Investigate a mystery, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but I believe that's sharp. So yeah, investigate a mystery. Which is sharp, I
Okay.
believe. PDFs. Where did I put this?
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. You do find, after a while of flipping through Carlos, C names. Flipping through, you do find a few possible things. One of them is you do find a leather jacket, but it is bright white leather with fringes and bedazzled thing, and it is like disco stud on the back, and it's just a glorious thing from the early 70s, and it's just maybe not the right kind of jacket you're looking for, but a few more. You do find something that
This is perfect.
oh no.
You know,
Carlos raises a finger to say something, and he pauses, and he gets a look in his eye, and he goes, "You know what, bud? Absolutely."
Oh no.
I'm glad you made that choice, TT, because I would have insisted anyways.
That is
You deserve something nice.
Carlos.
You'll rock that, bud. I need to remind
Did
you,
you
Carlos
see-
dresses like a monster. He doesn't have a taste of fashion.
Oh, that's true. Oh my god, the worst person to send with Fred for fashion. Well, no. Winifred should be also there.
The second
But-
worst Fred with fashion.
Yeah, that's true. Carlos is very
I'll leave
bright
you
and
to
forgot about that.
determine which Fred I'm referring to.
So the difference is Winifred knows exactly what she's doing and is doing it on purpose.
Exactly.
Well, Fred.
Yeah. The difference being Winifred is one of those poisonous animals who's trying to do a threat display.
You'll rock
Whereas
that.
Fred's
but-
one of those guys going through a midlife crisis.
and
And who
Carlos,
knows, man? Maybe Disco will come back for you.
actually, it would make sense because of the time and ages. Disco would have been very popular in Fred's youth, like really popular. So this would be like the height of him seeing like something cool from his youth.
And we're also like right before the disco revival as well, where it had that pop up back in the 90s. I'm pretty sure it started.
I
in
mean, the
92.
rise of Daft Punk will prove Fred was right.
Yes.
And Carlos, there is a very plain black. It's like would have been like a few hangers over, but there is a very plain black like bike jacket, like the kind of jacket you would actually get for riding a motorcycle and not trying to be show offy.
He's gonna grab that quietly just in case, but he really wants to see how far Fred can take the white one.
Oh yes.
And as he grabs
yes,
it,
I am basically just copying it is basically the jacket from Disco Stew from The Simpsons.
absolutely fair. He is going to, once he has that jacket, make his way back to the nice old lady whose name Grayson is not remembering. And he goes, "Hey, got a question for you. A little puzzlement."
I guess she would have introduced herself to Fred. She introduced herself as Suze Parr. Not Susan, Suze.
Suze.
Zeus?
Suse.
Seuss.
Say.
Say, Seuss, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Was doing some research.
He
Got
was
a-
like looking at a cabinet doing like labels on various knickknacks, and she just kind of looks over and she's like, "Research."
Yeah, on the more private side of things. You ever run into anything that's that enjoys a full moon and romping around a little more than it should?
Oh yes.
Cool, because I thought that was just mostly conjecture.
Did the pack move run back around in town?
There's a pack in town.
Well, it was. You have to forgive me. Time slips. Oh wow, it's probably been close to a decade now. There's a pack of werewolves that passed through.
Just a pack
Very
of werewolves. That's not a character.
She's very nonchalant. She's just like, oh yeah, they were just passed through, roaming around.
Well-
At the speed of sound.
This was one friend of mine who works up at the reserve found an unknown animal tooth in a javelina. And another friend I'm meeting up with was investigating a certain crime scene where some of the victims had burns around their bullet wounds. So I was wondering if you might have known anything about that.
Now, it makes sense that they'd be hunting a javelina. Those things are all over the place.
Oh yeah, no,
Get into the garden.
the javelina part, I'm not too worried about. It was out by some farm. It's remote enough. I'm not worried about that. More worried about the fact that somebody who knew how to kill a werewolf's in town.
And she does seem a little. That does seem to make her look. She frowns thoughtfully.
From what I can tell, it was a mixture of drug bust gone wrong. Someone came in and looks like someone came in and raided on it. A couple of hell coyotes was the gang, right?
Yeah.
Couple of hell coyotes were making a deal with some kids. Something went south. Some of the hell coyotes had some interest in burn wounds alongside, and bashing, slashing, not bullet damage. So
Slash promise too.
Wait,
and it's too new for it to be hitting the news just yet. But when the pillar pointing
did
guy,
you see the wounds themselves, or? Yeah.
I didn't. Got relayed over from a friend of mine who works at Pillar Pointing.
If I could talk to him, or if you can check it out and get back to me, I might have more information.
He was.
What photo evidence would be?
I don't know if he's got photos, but I know he was on site with the police. So
Okay, yeah. If I can talk to him, I might be able to suss out what you're dealing with. That's
all right. You got a phone?
And she goes, "Oh yes," and she gestures over at the counter where the teenager is. She goes, "Just go ahead and use it."
I get it. He's in his own little world. I understand.
Yes.
I understand. He's just patting the cassette that's on his hip.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna roll a weird to try to magic the phone number of Hanzo
Okay.
because I think it
use
would be fun.
that would be a used magic,
Yes,
which is still a weird, but same thing.
same thing. Let's see. So that's an 8 on the dice. Plus
Works
the
in perfectly.
sheet is 3, so that'd be an 11 total.
11 total. Okay, yeah, works without issues. So
Hanzo, your home phone starts ringing.
He cocks an eyebrow, goes up, picks it up. Hello.
Hi Hanzo, how you doing? Hey, so I know we split up so you could go get changed, but if you could swing in by the mall, Seuss wants to have a talk with you about those wounds. It's apparently not the first time there's been werewolves in town, so.
Very well. She puts the phone down.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Discord?
Okay.
No!
Hear us?
No.
Can't believe Ray.
Motherfucker!
Could you not hear
Can't
us?
believe
No,
Ray
I
is
could
dead.
not hear a single one of you.
Oh,
You
shit.
just kept going hello, hello, and it just set off a chorus of everyone going hello.
Hello?
Hello, every pony bazinga!
Rage.
Not that you.
Okay.
Not you.
All right. You know what?
What?
TT?
Sorry, you've been singing it at every pony. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Ah, it works. Containment
Did he
zone.
vanish now?
Hanzo. Okay.
With the inevitable silence of
Okay.
Hanzo on the other side, Carlos is just like, alright, see you when you get here, bud.
What happened? What?
You invoked the dark powers, man. What'd you think would happen?
Yeah.
I wasn't at the keyboard. I'm still cooking. Well, what was I banished?
You
Yes.
were banished.
Yeah, I put you in the containment zone.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't ask for anything better.
So,
Ooh.
Fred and Carlos, while you're waiting for Hanzo, both of you rolled me a weird.
I'm good at those.
6.
I got a 9.
Okay. As you're just kind of wandering around the store, just waiting for Hanzo. Eventually, he does pull up, and Hanzo, what's your outfit?
He is wearing one of those obnoxious Hawaiian shirts, and it, covers up. It's not short sleeve. In fact, he seems to have little cuffs to make sure the sleeves don't roll up.
Jeez. That might be worse than the suit.
Oh, it certainly is.
Oh, damn it, you're a little crackly.
Yeah, connection being
Okay.
bitch.
So
Hold on.
you pull up and you see Fred there, bedazzled, feeling funky.
I'm ready to meet some bikers.
You see Carlos with the actual leather jacket for bikers, waves a hand.
I see where this is going. He says, looking at Fred.
I think we're all gonna blend right in.
Oh no.
You guys are gonna die?
Are we so gonna die?
I'm
I
not
have no
saying
plans.
we're gonna. Honestly, of the three of us, I am the least worried about Hanzo. And Fred, you're gonna make a grand entrance. I tell you what.
So, Sue's just kind of returns from the depths of the store, and she's just like, "Oh, hello, welcome."
This is my friend Hanzo. He's the one we were talking about earlier.
Hanzo was here before, right?
Yes.
It's like, "Oh, yes, we met before. Welcome back."
Hello.
Now, were you the one who saw the victims?
Yes.
Could you describe the wounds? Describe it, since I'm afraid I won't be able to go out and see the scene myself. Not as spry as I used to be.
Wounds consistent with weapons, yet the wounds themselves seem to have almost like chemical-like burns, as if their biology just couldn't tolerate it.
Hmm. And it was like your friend said, clawing and blows that were like they were on fire.
Yes.
Hmm. And she kind of like first time the group has actually seen her friend. She's always been very cheerfully smiling. Turns around and she pulls back like further into the store, and there's a moment where you actually hear a door like open and close, and she's just gone for. She's just suddenly gone.
He looks at Fred. Nice jacket.
Oh, thanks. Now I just need a hog.
I don't have a budget for that. Have fun.
Yeah, I don't either.
If you're brave, you can catch one.
I don't think that's legal.
It's only
You
illegal
hear
if they
the-
catch you.
Hear the teenager from the kind of go. If you're looking for motorcycles, check the scrapyard. Got my car.
I was referring
And-
to actual javelina.
Oh yeah, those shits are everywhere, and they just kind of look back to their magazine. Their interest gone when they realize you're not actually talking about motorcycles.
Yes, it was a joke.
But after a few minutes, Sue's you hear the door open again, and she shuffles back out, and she's got this book in her hand, and it looks like a home journal, although there's like a layer of dust as she's like flipping through it. She goes, "Not the first time I've heard of wounds like that. About 20 years ago, there was some deaths that were like that." And she goes, "It's been so long. I'd have to like go and look some more." But she like flips to a page, and there's a newspaper cutting, and she like pulls it out and hands it over, and it says rash of serial murders. The flame-handed killer strikes again, and it goes talking about how there was a string of like 6 deaths of they don't like go into like who the people were, but they say they were distinct in having wounds that the killer got the name after there was a reporter who managed to catch a picture or an image they managed to see one of the corpses where it looked like a handprint had been seared into the chest of one of the victims. But that's about the extent of the article. It just says that the mystery was still ongoing. This is from like the early 70s.
Did they ever catch him?
She just kind of clicks her tongue and she goes, "No one was ever charged." And no one, and she kind of like glances over at her teenage grandson, and she's just to make sure that he's back to listening. And she goes, "And nothing was ever found to put the blame for it. But they just stopped."
I see.
And
Hello? Oops, sorry, everybody went quiet again. Hold on. Okay.
what was the last thing you heard?
You just cut off in the middle of saying something like, okay.
She goes, she was basically going, the killings happened in the early 70s, and she goes, "I don't recall anything happening with being involved with werewolves." And then she like seemed to click in her head as she goes, "Oh wait, that was when the pack was was hanging around town, but I don't recall if they ever were involved with that."
Maybe someone is trying to frame werewolves so they won't be accepted like vampires were.
That is an idea, Fred.
Sure is, Fred.
And she goes, "I'm sorry, I have not much more help. This wasn't something I was particularly involved in myself, just something I was aware was happening at the time."
That's understandable, but honestly, that's more than we had going into it. The werewolf tooth. I'm still not sold on the whole idea that the werewolf tooth and this killer are technically attached yet. It's just one of those funny senses of timing.
Yes. When was the last time this pack came to town?
Oh, she kind of frowns and she thinks. She goes, the most of them left not like late 70s, so it's probably been over a decade since I last saw any of them.
And these killings took place around the same time that they were in town.
Yes, but they were here in town, a couple of years after the killings stopped. The killings happened over like one summer.
Just gotta remember that sometimes correlation is not causation.
Yes.
But I also don't trust like that, so.
We don't rule anything out until we find out the truth.
And in this
Yes.
town, truth is subjective sometimes.
Oh,
Yes.
you have no idea how accurate that is.
Thank you. It may not be much, but it's something. We can use any scrap of knowledge we can get.
Yes.
Well, I will say that with her showing you the newspaper clipping, you do have a date that you could search more on, at a different location. But she's not exactly, in game terms, she's a resource, not an information resource.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
just gonna take out a little notepad, jot down that date, and
Well,
put
it
it
was
back.
like in the 1972. So it would be like literally 20 years prior.
Thank you.
She goes, of course, and she closes up the book and she goes, if there's anything else I can help with, or if you just want to peruse the wares, feel free to return anytime.
Alrighty. I've always appreciated Seuss.
And she goes, of course, and she'll get you all ringed up, like for how disinterested the teenager seems to be. When it comes to actually ringing you up, they're actually very quick and efficient. Not so much they seem to like want to be good at the job, just more like, if I get through this fast enough, I can just go back to slacking off.
That's fair.
Absolutely valid.
Yeah,
So-
get these weirdos who are talking about werewolves out of there.
Where, oh, werewolf, I looked everywhere, wolves.
We are going to do a little time skip. Time passes, the hours pass, the sun grows lower to the horizon, and near the outskirts of town, there's, as Hanzo and Carlos and Fred in either one or two cars approach, you see in the distance the Thirsty Devil Bar. But what you don't notice, actually, you want to even be there yet, but there's a lonely bar. The bar's only on the first floor, but it's a two-story building, and it looks to be a combination bar and motel. As Carlos that the bar has a motel mainly so that the drunk bikers don't go out onto the roads, and they have a place to just toss the passed out ones.
Yep.
But you're you would be approaching. It's sunset, and off in the distance, you see a few dust devils going. It's been a kind of a windy day, But
Yep.
they're just twisting across an empty lot. But you see the biker bar with the neon sign of a devil doing a shot, pouring itself a shot and taking it, over and over. And you see a couple of motorcycles already out and a few cars and some trucks. Seems to be already has a decent crowd.
Yep.
But we will actually. Sorry, I should have actually jumped to someone else. Winifred, you'd be getting up now.
If you would.
And you had a decent sleep, probably shorter than what you would have wanted, but when the sun's low, it's just kind of impulse to just wake up. But you also did have a lead that you were going to possibly follow.
Yes, I did. Can you remind me what that is, real quick? Just a.
You remember that Itzel, the vampire biker that you encountered and spoke to after the Road King encounter? Well, before and after. You remember that one of the rumors going around was that she was once part of a biker gang, and it's possibly one of the reasons why she served a brief stint in prison. And you were going to possibly ask her about the Hell Coyotes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I don't know where anybody else is right now, I'm just gonna go there by myself. If I run across anybody as I'm going over there, then they're welcome to follow her, but she's not going to seek anybody out.
You would know that, like, a lot of the other vampires in town, best place to get breakfast, at night, besides places like Carlos's place, is the Bad Moon Diner, one of Carlos's competitions, but it is vampire catered and oriented. But
And I haven't seen her at Carlos's before, right?
no, you haven't seen her at Carlos's, no. But yeah, if you just head on over, it's not too far from your place because there's actually, you live in a part of town where there's a fairly large amount of vampires, and it's actually a part of town where there are shaded. Most of the sidewalks are shaded, so just in case the vampires have to, you do have to walk during the day or you don't have an umbrella. It's not too bad. It's still painful. It's like, but it wouldn't be too far from the Bad Moon Diner, which has this very tacky neon sign of a moon surrounded by bats.
Yeah, she knows about it. She just prefers Carlos's because, well, she appreciates tacky decor. Also, Carlos is there, so.
And I'll just say it's basically sunset. The sun is just dipped behind the mountains in the distance. Thankfully, because being in a valley, sunset comes earlier than it would normally. But I'd say that you do see Itzel's motorcycle parked in the parking lot.
Alright. I will head in and look for her.
And it is dimly lit, since most vampires, it doesn't really matter. Very dark paint, kind of gothic looking interior. It's like a gothic diner, basically. And yeah, you see Itzel, she's sitting at the counter, just seems to be having a cup of coffee mixed with her blood.
She's gonna
Be busy being so early in the night.
She's gonna sit next to her, and order some of the same, and then turn to her and go, "Hey, how's it going?
When you sat down, she kind of side-eyed you, but then, like, once she recognized you, she, like, glances over, just like, oh. And then when you, like, actually address her, she goes, hey, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you here before.
I'm usually across the street, and she's pointing to Carlos's very contrarily decorated diner across from where we are.
Yeah. He goes, oh, yeah.
Owner's a friend, you know, I get discounts.
Oh, then, yeah. Then I definitely would, too. And
I
she
don't-
just kind of, like,
I don't charge that much for my blood.
No, but I still get discounts.
she goes, oh,
Sure.
well, yeah, I don't blame you then. She just kind of, like, gives, like, nods with her coffee cup and takes a sip.
This is gonna sound really stupid, but my friends asked me to ask you.
Uh-huh.
Biker gangs. Do you know anything? Happen to know anything about something?
And she just kind of, her coffee cup just clicks on the table. She just, like, shoots a small glare at you. She's like, who? Why?
Like I said,
I'm trying.
this wasn't my idea
We're friends,
because I
right?
kind of felt that you were going to be, you know,
No,
insulted.
sorry, it's just mildly, but I'm trying to be better after the last time. Why biker gang specifically? And she seems suspicious.
She's. I'm gonna look around. There's nobody like
Oh.
directly around us, right?
You know what? This is actually a good role. Manipulate someone.
Manipulate someone?
Oh
yeah,
shit.
that's
It's a
PD
charm.
says charm.
What was that?
Or normal. Yeah, it's a charm roll.
Okay, you want me to charm her? 'Cause I'm just talking to her at this point.
Okay,
But manipulate someone is used for, you know, trying to get someone to do what you want. Like
yeah, an
it's
NPC.
it's not necessarily like, you know, you're hypnotizing them. It's for convincing someone to, you know, open up to you, do you a favor,
Yeah, I wasn't
look
meaning
the
like
other
any
way.
vampire charm. I was meaning the hunter move.
No,
Yeah, this is
I knew what you meant. I was just wondering if I would have to roll for that when I hadn't actually said anything yet.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
I mean, you might have to.
She's just kind of like. She seems pretty suspicious on why you're suddenly approaching her asking about biker gangs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look around real quick. There's nobody here, right? It's besides the two of us. Like, there's
a
nobody
few.
that could.
There's a few. It's actually pretty busy. There's no one like immediately to the left or right of you sitting at the bar counter, but like there's the chatter of people talking. Vampires are keeping quiet since everyone has the super hearing and doesn't want to like overwhelm each other, I guess. But
She's going to give her a look like she can't believe that she's actually about to say this bullshit. She goes, so you know, my friends and I are kind of mixed up in a lot of weird shit sometimes.
right, I heard through the grapevine about something about a giant snake.
Werewolves.
It wasn't a snake, it was werewolves?
No, this time it's werewolves.
Oh,
Yeah. I feel dumb just saying
weird.
that.
I mean, I haven't seen any in a while, but werewolves, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of a biker werewolves in a. She kind of like laughs and she goes, "Well, I guess I shouldn't be skeptical. I was a biker vampire, so what do I know?"
Yeah, so we just kind
Said
of
she hadn't seen one in a while.
yeah, Winifred heard that, and she's gonna file that away. She's not gonna push on that right at this instant until she has the lady chatting with her again without being upset. So yeah, unfortunately, a bunch of bikers were murdered the other day out in, scrublands. It was the scrublands, right?
Squids. It's kind of, yeah, I guess it would be considered scrublands. It's like near the mountains, but yeah, it is pretty scrubby.
It's literally the only lead we have that they were part of a biker gang.
What crew did they run with?
Coyotes? What was it again?
Fucking hell coyotes?
Hell coyotes, yeah.
Are you serious? And she just kind of, well, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not sorry they're dead, but what happened?
It seems like some sort of drug deal gone wrong at first, right?
Sounds about right.
But... And she's
So that was her going, sounds about right.
She's gonna describe, like, the wounds and stuff that they had as much as she possibly can and what happened without freaking her out or anything.
And she for her part, she seems pretty unfazed by it all. Just, she goes, I haven't heard anyone dying like that before. I mean, I've seen people get hit with something that was on fire, but this sounds a little more focused than being hit by falling timber.
Yeah, it's weird, right? And I know that just because you might have been in a biker gang before, that doesn't mean that you know anything. But anything that you do know would be helpful. And I will roll for charm for that, because I am trying to get her to tell me things.
Yeah, roll me on manipulate someone.
Okay, the charm.
Which is charm.
I don't have any bonus to that, so that is... It's not great, it's an 8, but it's also not a failure, I don't think.
Yeah, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show you mean it. And she goes... Give me just a second to think of...
Well, you don't necessarily have to think of the thing. Callie has to think of the thing, I think.
Oh, yeah. What do you do to show them that you're being sincere and not have a duplicitous... How does Winifred prove her sincerity?
How the hell do I know?
I know, right? It's such a vague thing.
Just gotta go run a favor or something.
But yeah,
or just do something to show that you're, be honest.
Random bullshit, go.
Look, if you need me to do something to prove that I'm, like, being straight with you, I'm more than happy to. But, I mean...
No vampire's straight.
Shut up. Whatever the hell is going on, it's like... If it's targeting something like werewolves, and the werewolves are like we were, and afraid to come out because of, and she gestures, all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd rather take out whatever's targeting that sort of minority.
And as you explain this, she just kind of... She laughs. She's like, wow. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, it's just I'm laughing at the irony of this situation. And she kind of glances around and she goes, mind if we could just go outside, talk in the parking lot? I'm feel a little better not having prying ears. As she kind of glances at someone that was like, not subtly looking over as you were talking, and they just like kind of look back to their own coffee. She goes, she gets up and walks out.
Yeah.
She does pay, but actually she like slams back the rest of her coffee, pays, and then walks out.
I'll do the same. It's like, yeah, all these Freaking vampires, bunch of goddamn gossips.
She does get a laugh at that, but outside she like goes over to stand by her motorcycle, and she's just like, "Okay, hello coyotes, not werewolves. At least not when I ran with them.
Alright.
They kind of like sighs and takes out she like takes a cigarette and like seems to be gathering her thoughts for a moment. She goes, they're why I'm sure you've heard that I spent a few years in prison. Used to run with them, and a job went sideways. Security guard got shot. I got left behind. I got the rep. I was the scapegoat for those fuckers.
Meh. I can tell.
So
I
you
see.
can see why I'm not exactly upset that some of them are now on the ground. Hell, if it's some of the ones that I knew, I might celebrate.
I can't exactly blame you. They don't seem like they were very nice people.
No, we weren't. Well, when I ran with them, we weren't good people, but they started to get real bad, especially after I left them. I may be a criminal, but I'm not a fucking killer.
Understandable. And I mean, it's not like I might have done worse things, or, you know.
And she kind of gives you this look, and she goes, "We've lived long enough. We've had to do some shit. I understand."
So you're not gonna get any judgment from me about anything. It's just, you know. This entire thing is a little weird. And I'm almost positive that some of my friends are going out to the biker bar. And I just want to know what the hell I'm going to be walking into.
If they're going to Thirsty Devil, if it's that friend from the northerly friend if it's your friend that was in the back, sorry,
The nervous fella?
she's like, yes,
Yeah.
the dad fella.
They're taking him to a thrift shop, I think, to get, like, clothes. And I'm almost certain that that is going to be both hilarious and bad.
Oh my god. I think we should go both just to witness this and to possibly save your friend's life.
Yeah. What am I going to be walking into? Exactly. Do I need to be ready to throw somebody out a window at all times?
I mean, depends on who you upset or who thinks you upset them. It's rowdy. It used to be one of my main hunts, but honestly, Phil, as long as you keep him happy, he'll look out for you. He doesn't really tolerate many bar fights. You don't want him to get involved.
Good. Well, let's go find our biker werewolves, and I still can't believe that that is a sentence.
Okay, now, see, there were no werewolves. As far as I know, the Hell Coyotes, they were all human, or a few of us, besides a few of us, were vampires. But otherwise, we've never run with werewolves or beasts. But who knows? I haven't run with them in years.
I have a feeling that we're about to find out.
And she gets on her motorcycle and she goes, "You got a ride, or?"
I'll get there.
Uh-huh. And she kind of squints. And then she's like, "All right. Weren't you driving the dad's car? Whatever. I'll see you there. And she revs up her motorcycle. Speaking of,
that actually is what she's going to do. She's been having weird dreams this past few days, and that's how I'm going to explain how she knows that she can shapeshift now.
oh my.
She looks left and right, shrugs, and goes, "Oh fuck it, might as well fucking try it." And
Hey.
what did we say?
ATT.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, Jorah looks great.
I love them.
Who the what now?
Yeah, what?
I posted a
Post
thing
here.
under School Mysteries. All right.
Post here. What are their pronouns?
Believe
She, her.
Jorah's. Yeah, Jorah's
Yeah,
she, her.
she's a girl.
I love her.
Yeah, what? Aw.
Necromancer in training, of course.
Necromancer
I
in
have a
training.
theme.
She's a very rigorous major in the Academy of Applied Arcana and Magic.
Basically,
love her.
super nerd having to take so many extracurriculars. Oh, sorry, what were you saying, Winifred?
I was just. What were the forms that we agreed on again? One was a bat,
Oh,
coyote, and the other one was something weird, right?
hold on. Let me search our chats.
I think it was an armadillo.
Yes, it was.
Which isn't very
Yeah,
fast.
it was a bat,
so-
a coyote, and an armadillo. Because of the
What?
just because of the
It's funny.
It suits the environment and
vampire history.
Mm-hmm.
that most well known of vampire creatures,
The
the armadillo.
So, she's gonna try for bat. Do you want me to roll and see if I get something weird for the first time I do this, or do you just want me to let?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead, roll a weird. This is pretty weird.
All right, that's a 9, so I think I'm good.
Yeah. You have to struggle for a moment because it's like the first time you've done this, but it's not like an animal. Well, how would the transformation? Would it be just like a poof thing, or like Animorphs body horror going on?
I'm torn between the two because both funny as hell. I think I'm gonna go with half and half.
Yeah, I feel like your body starts tensing up, and it's so painful. It feels like you're about to do body horror, and then just suddenly,
Poof.
Yeah, it's like there's like an elasticity where you're stretching and stretching against it, and then everything just shifts.
snaps
And
like a rubber band. You're an armadillo now.
Yeah, yeah, you're a bat, and yeah, you are a bat fluttering around the air.
So I'm gonna fly to the biker bar. I almost call it a gay bar. I'm so sorry.
I mean,
Well, if they're not werewolves, I guess they're not furries anymore.
Not this biker gang. Wrong
Just
type of
because,
leather bikers.
just because there's no furries doesn't mean there ain't no bears.
So yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you
well, I want
probably
to
be
hear
following
Winifred's
Ethel's
inner
motorcycle.
dialogue that she has successfully turned into a bat now.
Holy shit, I'm a bat.
It's more like
It's
just
like-
like wee.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm a cool now!
Fuck all you
So-
scrub vampires.
Yeah,
So you go-
she just saying that. It's like, fuck y'all lame! And everyone's just looking up and squeak, squeak, squeak.
So, we're gonna shift back to. So I guess I should ask. Now that you've dumped off the tooth to the lab, what would Olivia and Connor be doing? Oh, actually, there was something I did write down. That specifically you, Olivia, you were asking about potentially checking out the crime scene.
Yes, I was.
Last time, Hanzo did say it would probably be active until nightfall, which it is now nightfall. If you that is a possible thing, but it is what would Connor and Olivia be doing?
She did want to do that. Hey, Connor,
Yeah.
want to break the law?
You'll be out already?
Not really, no.
Not today. Not yet.
The last thing we did was literally my job. And we are working with Hanzo. So, no.
So the law doesn't apply to us anymore. Gotcha.
I mean, rules are meant to be broken.
I don't care.
Sweet,
What
sweet,
you
we're going
got
to
in
the
mind?
Did the law
Sweet, we're
ever
going-
apply to us?
Get out of here!
Like, I'm not actually here. This is all in your head.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
really grappling with that ghost, huh?
Yeah, you really need to get your head checked out, Olivia.
The ghost of Fred's
I'm
past.
living rent free in here. God, I wish that happened in real life.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You would know that the
That is
preserve, like when I have to describe the game sometimes to people and I describe some of the characters, whenever I do describe Fred, I like Fred, the saddest man in the world.
Oh,
If a
you
wet
do know that
napkin was a person.
Following Hanzo, he told you where it was, and with your big detailed map that you have at the preserve, it's not far away. It's the trailhead's not far away. I don't know if I'm using that word right,
Yeah.
trailhead.
I'm gonna go check out the crime scene, Connor.
I
See if there's anything that, they missed that we can get sight of.
yeah, sure. Sounds like an idea.
Alrighty.
And you leave the aviary dome, and load into the truck, drive up, following Hanzo's directions. It's not a far trip. God, I love that bit. But drive up, and seems that you were right, or Hanzo was right. Jeez, excuse me. There's no police there anymore. Although you do have to stop because the parking lot area where it happened is cut off with police tape. So unless you wanted to drive in there and contaminate the scene with the truck, you'll have to get out and tromp around. But you are, thankfully, there doesn't seem to be anyone around. But it is getting darker. The sun is now, past. You'll have to bring out flashlights because, actually, the moon is fairly full, so there would be a decent amount of natural light, but you'd still need to use flashlights and stuff.
I have my high-powered flashlight, so.
So yeah, you walk in and there are no longer any bodies, but you do see, stain with the flashlights. You do see where there were the little crime scene markers and flags marking where you see the depressions of where the bodies were, and the dried blood, like the darker dirt surrounding it, dried mud.
Yeah, just to be safe. Do I have any gloves?
Oh yeah, you'd have to use gloves to haul up dead animals.
Cool. And Connor has gloves, so.
Of course.
But just in case,
Yeah,
no,
but
I don't want to leave any fingerprints and get linked to a murder. But I would
At the
also like
moment-
to try and learn about the murder.
yeah, at the moment they're. So both of you, if you want, investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Oh, and Connor or Hanzo. I don't know why I got Connor and Hanzo mixed up there. Hanzo did explain that there was a secondary site off to the side where you do see like a marker like trailing off to where the secondary site of blood spill was. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Investigate a mystery.
I got a 10.
Good. I had a 5.
Five.
Yeah, you get an experience point for failing.
True. I forgot about that.
Okay. So on a 10, you get a hold of 2. What happened here? What sort of creature was it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here? And which one did you do, Hanzo? Because I know you got one question. What was being concealed here?
Something like that, I believe.
And I think
Okay.
that's what led to the secondary site.
Yeah. Okay. What happened here?
What happened here?
Like, we know that it seems like some kind of drug bust went down, but like, I'm asking that as an investigation, so I can hopefully get something more solid.
Okay. Going around, you see the where the bodies were marked at staying. There's not really like chalk outlines since you're out in the desert, so it won't really work. But you do see where there was the pools of blood and the divots where the bodies were in the gravel. Near the cluster where it's the 3 bodies that were a closer cluster, which you realize were the Saburo and the others. You do see actually right next to them a broken piece of glass with which you realize was probably some of the epiphany vials that broke. The dirt there, it does have a weird consistency, like not like normal mud, but it's not really anything you can gather much from that. From what you and Connor can tell, it does look like it does seem to be a drug bust or not drug deal, a drug deal where, well, from what you can tell, the 3 people were gunned down in one spot. You see tracks leading off to where Hanzo made the discovery following a trail of blood. But the other things you see scattered around where they marked the tire tracks for the motorcycles. You see the markers for the dead bodies scattered around, and you actually see on like this boulder that's near the edge of this parking lot, you see that's where one person was dead, and there's just a blood smear where it looks like they might have been thrown and landed on it.
Jesus.
And it looks like, from what you can piece together, that without actually being there and seeing it and not having the bodies there, it does look like the people were gunned down, and then something else came and attacked the bikers.
Okay, so it looked like there might have been 3 parties involved.
Because if you remember what Hanzo and Carlos deduced, there was probably 4, because there was Dennis, Jessica, and Sabura.
Not individuals, parties, like.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You think that there was someone that ran away following the blood trail. What was your second question?
So, because we have that second spot where someone went there.
Yeah.
Where
looks like
did
someone
it
went-
go?
Where did it go? Okay.
Yeah, where did it go after?
Okay, you go to where you follow this trail. You probably would have been very easy to miss it in the dark if it wasn't for these, neon flags marking it. But you follow it down and you see this little clearing where there's a bunch of these dead, shriveled up trees. Just looks like a place where maybe the soil's bad. You see a saguaro cactus skeleton that just standing there, but following the blood, you see it go up towards where the saguaro cactus skeleton is, and that's where the biggest pile is, and that's where it's like there's a marker there. But Connor, you followed Olivia
Mm-hmm.
to this little secondary spot, and you look at the blood, and you see smeared across this cactus. Do people know what a saguaro cactus skeleton looks like?
No.
Hold on, I have a picture of it saved. They are skeleton cactuses are fascinating, but no, I have it saved. Sorry, just a second. Whatever. You see what looks to be like a smear, like a handprint of smeared blood that like hit it and smeared across it. And you look at it, you feel that like compulsion you felt before, or just on the little voice is just like, hey, take a look at that. And you go up closer, and there's a moment where you're like, oh, this is grody, and then you like kind of reach out and touch the skeleton. Not, you don't touch the blood, but you touch like the skeleton, just kind of touch it. And in that brief moment, it's like you're suddenly on fire. You are just suddenly burning, and there's this coal of heat and hatred burning in your chest, and you stagger back, and just suddenly you're back to normal in this kind of chilly evening air. And Olivia, you see Connor stagger back, and there's like wisps of smoke wafting off of him, like his clothing nearly caught fire.
He just kind of
Connor,
blinks and looks around.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
You feel
sure?
perfectly fine now. It's just that moment where it was just like, it felt like you were doused in gasoline and set on fire for a moment.
He just like, what the hell was that?
You were.
Yeah, I can see
I don't
the
even know
smoke.
what that was.
The fuck?
That was a bad link.
I touched. I don't know really why I touched it, but I touched it, and then just like fire and hate and fire hate just pulsate everywhere. It's weird.
Okay.
It's like, for like the first time you see him actually. Well, not really the first time. Like the second time since that one lady. He actually
That's
seems
what
to get.
saguaro skeletons look like.
He seems to actually look kind of angry, and he's actually going to pull off his glove, and you notice his hand is just kind of like white, just like kind of like has scratches, and just his skin just looks horrible. And he reaches out, and he's actually going to put a bare hand on it, and he's going to try and use He's going to try and use magic to essentially try and like identify or home in on that weird feeling, because he's angry now.
Okay.
Angie.
As you start to reach out, you hear that voice in your head. It goes, well, it already knows we're looking for it. Might as well. As you reach out and touch.
What?
Under his breath, he mutters, "You are so supportive."
Olivia, you didn't hear that voice.
I know.
But
So,
touch it.
would you like me to
use
roll
magic,
for it
please.
or just go?
Yeah, use magic.
Okay, yeah. Okay. 11.
Ooh.
Yeah, I rolled well. I was concerned for a minute because I got a 2 and a 6. But it's
Okay.
fine.
So, let's see.
Wait.
Works without issues. Choose your effect.
Magic's just kind of nebulous. You can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything in there that would be like possible.
I see.
Yeah, nah, nothing really for the moment. But yeah, you were trying to identify or learn more about this. Was that what you were
Yeah.
trying to do?
I guess the closest under magic would be observe a place or time. You're just trying to understand or observe or connect with
Okay.
this thing.
Okay. And there, as you reach out and touch it, this cactus skeleton is very warm to the touch. It doesn't burn you like it did before. Now that you're ready for it and you're focused. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, sorry. But and there's a moment where it's like vision goes black as you look back to the night you assume of what of this happened as it's almost like the point of view of the cactus in a weird way. You're just in this clearing and you hear in the distance gunfire and shouts and then laughter. And then stumbling through the bushes, you see a man clutching at a wound in his stomach, trailing blood, smearing blood with everything he touched to support his weight. And then another person laughing steps up behind him and shoots him in the back. And this man falls and catches himself on this cactus before sliding to the ground and begins bleeding out. And you believe you see this man die on the ground, but where the blood smeared across the wood, a flame appears, and then a sandstorm begins. Who did we lose? DC.
DC.
And then it's like you see this flame manifest where the blood touched this cactus, and then a sandstorm begins to manifest and just swirl, and you hear the screams again in the distance. But through the sandstorm, you see the man who you were sure died stands and goes walking off into the desert back towards the city. And yeah, well, Hanzo's seen, or not Hanzo. I looked at the screen. You see Connor concentrating as you're not sure what he's doing. But as you look around, you answering your previous question, where did it go? You actually do see a trail that hasn't been marked. You notice like the telltale signs of like a few branches of a bush broken. You see a glimpse of like a dried blood, and it looks like whoever was here stood up and started walking back towards the city.
I do deal with animals, so it just makes sense that I'd be able to find the tracks easier than the fucking cops.
Yeah.
So
And
the division has ended, right?
yeah, the vision ends, and what you hear from your little assistant, don't ever call them that, they'll hate you. But
yeah, I know.
They go, oh, a fellow curse. Interesting.
Is another one. Good lord.
Not quite, but someone who dabbles in the same realms.
You have any advice on that or suggestion?
Make sure you're not the target of this curse.
I hope that I've heard, or at least I've read weird things happen when two curses meet.
Yes. Don't become the target.
Thanks.
And it goes silent. So, Olivia, you heard Connor just mumbling to himself.
Are you all right?
He pulls his like over the course of this, his hand actually looks weathered, like chapped, bad skin, terrible fingernails, just horrible. And he's gonna slide the glove back over his hand. And when he pulls away, the cactus, with the husk of the cactus, looks somehow even more just broken, rotted, and sicker.
Yeah, and actually, because of your connection with curses and sickness, you would realize that the cactus is why everything around it is withered and decayed.
The curse came through
But
the cactus.
it is no. You
Cur-
think the cactus may have been contained within. With that good of a roll, I will say there was something contained within this, but not anymore.
The
Lovely.
cactus?
He's going to rub his face, just like fuck.
What? Are you?
No, I'm never good. That is the answer if you ever ask that question. Something was in the cactus. This dead motherfucker died on it or near it, and I think it went into him. It's what I
wait.
can tell. Someone died here. A sandstorm covered them. They stood back up and then walked into the desert.
Okay, fucking pause.
What?
They died on this cactus,
Shot in the back.
and their corpse was possessed
By a sandstorm, I guess?
by a sandstorm.
Look, they died, a sandstorm covered them, they stood back up and walked into the fucking desert.
Okay,
Oh,
explain.
Okay, they started walking back towards the city,
Oh, sorry.
out of the desert.
Yeah, they started walking back towards the city. So, not good things.
Oh, when did we start
What?
this game? I think it was like March. So it's like probably like early April. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I was
you.
gonna. Sorry, I wanted to make a reference. It's like, oh shit, that movie. He's like, hasn't come out for like. It came out April 10th, 1992. I was gonna say, oh shit, it was a Hexus situation. The cactus. And look, it's like April 1992.
Shit.
The sandstorm, whatever, starts singing and grinding sexually. We know what's going on.
It's Tim Curry sandstorm.
The spirit of Tim
Trust me,
Curry.
I haven't sang since high school, so don't worry. In the words of Bender, I don't sing. Court order. So you got a nice little tidbit there.
Yeah, Joy, it may not be a werewolf.
Okay, how did you see that?
It tells you when the spoke or whatever hit me. I just put my hand back on and tried to reconnect to that.
Okay, but
It sucks.
Magic.
Connor,
Yeah?
can I ask you something?
Sure, go ahead.
Carlos is a wizard.
Yeah,
What are you?
I'm not a wizard.
Yeah,
I'm not magic. I can tell you right now, I am not magic.
What are you?
I
I don't-
can't really say.
What does that mean?
It's Some idiot forgot to read the fine print, is what it is.
Make a fucking deal with the devil.
You say
You
that
hear
loud?
like that giggling is in character, by the way, Raven.
Oh, I figured. He's sending just a mental grump back at it, but he knows it amuses it, so he's not really bothered. Did you say that in character?
Yes. Did you make
No,
a deal with that devil?
No, I'm not quite that stupid. I didn't make a deal with anything.
Okay.
Look, I really can't say.
What can you say?
Socks.
What?
It sucks.
That was me laughing.
Honestly, at this point, you and the thing are just one and the same to me.
Mhm.
Okay. Is there
Like, I'm
anything
not-
you can tell?
I'm not trying to be cagey. I literally can't say much.
I don't disbelieve you. It's just a lot to take in. You know, finding out fucking wizards, possibly werewolves, possibly something worse, living predatory hearts. You know, these shit's weird around here already, but shit's been especially weird lately.
Yeah,
I'm adjusting.
I get you. He's just like, he opens his mouth and just pauses, just starts grinding his teeth for a moment, just as just trying to think on how close he can really get to saying anything, and just like, I am not. My constitution is not compromised. I'm not one of those people with that genetic disorder. Is all he can say, and just motion to how his entire face and just how fucking sick he looks all the time.
Could you write that down? I want to make a note of that.
He's just said I don't have my constitution is not. Fuck, I don't remember how I worded that. But he just says he doesn't have a disorder
Constitution is
that.
not compromised.
Yeah, my constitution is not compromised. I do not have that disorder. And then he just waves Jodel just how fucking sick he looks all the time.
Okay. Is there anything more vague you could tell me?
He just kind of rubs forehead and is like, ugh. I don't know. I'm tiptoeing around things. Bad things happen when people get a little too close.
Okay, well,
I'm not beating you, I'm beating me. I'd rather not have this get worse or whatever happens.
okay. I won't push then, because looks like you're already dealing with some shit.
You can say that, yes.
Yes. Well, while you were having a vision, I found the trail that they went.
Best I got for you is the weird sand tornado thing is possibly a curse.
Are you cursed?
He just pauses for a minute and goes
Okay, all right.
He just thinks for a minute and goes, legally I can neither confirm nor deny. At that he actually gives a slight smile, because he's like, hey, works for lawyers, should be able to work for me.
The devil's down in the basement going, that rat bastard!
Don't blame me, blame the lawyers.
I employ him!
Hey. I won't pry them
It's, like,
anymore.
it's actually okay if you do. You just can't pry for me.
What?
Oh, so it's a stupid curse. Doesn't
Alright,
know it when you're talking about it behind its back.
No one knows. It's just,
Oh my God, Gray.
what?
No, Gray. I see his rolls.
Something else.
Alright.
Don't worry.
Anyways, he's like, look, it's a terrible situation. We got more than we thought we'd get from this place. Do you want to
Yeah,
follow the tracks?
Yeah, we're following the tracks.
Cool. If you want to share this
I
with
wish
the
I had-
others, if you want to share
What?
this with the others, go
I
ahead.
will say.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
He's just going to mention, because if you want to share this, anyone, go ahead. I can't really stop you, and I don't care if you do. I just can't really bring it up myself.
I don't even know what to say.
Cool.
Your
Yeah,
friend
what
is
do you
a
say
curious
when your
one,
friend is
isn't she?
under a non-disclosure agreement from the devil?
What was that, Sarah?
So, you hear as you start following this path, your friend is a curious one, isn't she?
They all are. That's kind of the whole deal.
It has been entertaining, and that's about all you hear for the moment. But what I was going to say is, following the path, it is you do follow a path, and eventually the blood stops dripping. But you see, because it is a sandy-ish, gravelly area, you can follow it. Footprints and stuff, but footprints end at the road. And it seems, from as far as you can tell, they started walking, following the road back towards town. So, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to track them from there.
Do you know they're in town, possibly?
Yeah, we know they're in town. That's something.
But speaking of, as you know, you probably go back to the truck to regroup.
Yeah. Did we go
We're
to that bar,
finally,
right?
yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Connor.
Go ahead.
You were going to that bar, right?
That's where we're supposed to meet up, if I remember right.
I guess that's where we're going.
I mean, if nothing else, is where we could find 3 of the idiots.
And give them some of these, and she waves around the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, we should probably have done that earlier.
Rewinding a bit, the trio, they're off to the bar.
Oh no.
As I said before, you see the big neon sign of a devil pouring shots for itself, and it's
Amazing.
kind of a grungy looking place. You hear music as you pull the parking lot, like loud rock music from the inside. You see some bikes lined up, some cars, some trucks. Seems to be a fairly active night. Not like packed, but there's definitely people here. How do you want to do this?
Yeah, Hanzo was just going to enter and seat himself.
Fred's gonna do the same thing, but holding a Walkman that's playing tequila, and he's got a little strut in his step.
You go, Fred.
You go, Fred.
Here goes.
Be the girl
Carlo-
boss who you were always meant to be, Fred.
Carlos is going to follow up wearing the actual leather biker jacket rather than his funky trench coat. And he's still got the fucking shoes on and the pants and the shirt. But at least with the jacket, he seems a lot less noticeable The
Yeah.
strutting Fred.
It seemed like a weekend raider.
Mhm.
But so yeah, you all go to the same booth or table, or you go into the bar. Because when you enter, music's pretty loud, so not everyone can hear the tequila, but as you walk in, it's like kind of a ripple effect as first one person notices and then others, then it spreads as people nudge and point, and they all look over as Hanzo walks in wearing long sleeved tie-dye Hawaiian shirt, followed by Fred.
Tequila.
Hanzo makes a
And-
point to go sit in his own booth.
That's after you sat at the bar and I sat next to you.
Carlos is gonna grab a seat at the bar.
Oh my god.
And
Jesus.
walking up to, like, kind of like looming over is kind of a large bear of a man. I guess technically, well, you don't know his proclivities, but he could be considered a bear in some circles. Large man, shaved head or bald, not sure which. Big bushy beard, kind of looks at you, cocks an eyebrow, and he's like, "Carlos." And he
Phil?
like kind of like looks around and goes, "Are you filming something for America's Funniest Videos or something?"
No, I'm just
Carl-
here for a nice, refreshing whiskey.
Carlos put the hand up, like a finger's like, man, I should have thought about that. That would have been the perfect excuse.
And he goes, "Well, keep an eye on your friend," as he does go, and he goes, "So, whiskey for you. What about you?"
Yeah, just sort of rum and coke for me.
All right. And very quickly he gets it, and this, like, looking at him, you can tell this guy has been through the ringer once or twice in his long life. He's got scars, tattoos up and down his arms, knuckle tattoos and stuff. He looks like the picture of a retired biker, and he's just very quickly gets your drinks and puts them up, and he goes, "So," and he like looks to you, Fred, and he goes, I'd ask if you lost the bet, but you seem a little too sincere."
I am not. I wish I could say I did lose the bet. It feels like I lost the bet. But
Oh, he said this to Fred.
Oh. Well, I said that to me. You good?
Sorry.
You'd be surprised how often people say that to me. And he downs his whiskey like it's a shot. It is not a shot.
Oh no.
No, and oh god, there's not like a constitution.
Oh my
I don't know if I
God.
should make you roll tough.
Yeah.
Act under pressure. That's it. So you can either roll cool or tough.
Cool. I rolled a 2.
And saying that, and this is just how well. Jesus, I don't know if I should even do this, but just for my own sake, Phil is such a well-practiced barkeeper. He sees that, and before you even put the glass down, he's already holding a bucket out for you. Yeah, you kinda.
You.
Carlos hands in
He
his
looks
face.
over at you. He looks at you, Carlos. He goes, "I'm still charging for that."
That's fine. I guess I'm picking up this tab.
When Fred vomited, there was like, from the other bikers and bar patrons who were watching, there was just everyone just started cracking up laughing and just like, it seemed to break the tension as they go back to like either their pool games or dart or their own drinks, and it's just like, okay, just a tourist, kind of like whatever kind of vibe. But Phil is just like, so normally I'm checking in your place for an early morning, well, late night. I'm usually going to your place for stuff, not you coming here. What's up?
Got a couple of questions on something, and I needed to be on the down low, so that's why I brought the show with me.
Yes, he does do. He is a good distraction, and Fred, he does side you like a glass of water, and he goes, if you want something a little more shot, you should have just asked for shots. You want a drink? Just let me know. He seems to be taking pity on you, Fred. Probably not an unfamiliar
I
reaction.
know, people do it all the time. Pity and condescension. He recognizes it, but he acts like he doesn't.
Aww.
Yeah.
Question before this. Hanzo, did you sit at the bar, or did you really go leave?
He sought out a corner booth.
Okay. Yeah, Fred definitely drew the attention away from you, but a waitress does come up and take your order. She's like, what you want?
Something light.
Beer. Got it. And she just walks off. No time for chit chat with her. But so go ahead, Carlos. We're going to say
Yeah.
something.
So out of character, I know we had just literally talked about it, and I forgot to write it down like I should have because I knew I was going to space it. What was the name of that killer from 20 years ago?
The flame-handed killer.
Yeah. So
very, very cheesy.
It is very
your
cheesy.
Friend in the news, your journalist friend would be ashamed of that.
Yeah. So normally I don't like coming to your place, Phil, especially on a busy night. I get it, but you ever hear? It's business owner, business owner. You know what I mean? It's a respect.
Yeah. I'm giving you shit.
Ah, you're fine. I wish I could say it was more fun. The reason I was here. You've been a local here for a good long while, right?
Yeah. Once I stopped riding across the country, yeah.
Were you here back when there was that flame-handed killer news?
Kind of squints, and he's just like, I remember hearing about that once I did come, but that was a little before I actually settled down here. Yeah, I passed through here a bunch, but not when that was going on.
Fair enough. But got a friend who asks me once in a while on some things of my more unusual proclivities. That's too big of the right word, but you know what I mean. He asked me a couple of questions about some case, about some folks who had some unusual burns after a murder. And did a little research into it, figuring if it was a drifter of some sort who might have some interests in fire. Well, what better place to find out than where the travelers go, right?
Do you think it's someone showing up after 20 years again, or copycat?
Well, it could be a
hear about that
copycat.
on the news sometimes about copycat killers. No
Yeah.
one has an interest. No one has a unique thought in their body. He says, looking at the DM running a flesh pit based game.
Hey, you shut up. Don't talk about my like that.
I can understand that, but no. One of the reasons I was asking, he kind of like leans in a little bit closer. Some of the folks with the burns were hell coyotes.
And when you say that, he just kind of like, he was just a stereotypical thing of just a barkeeper cleaning some mugs to keep busy while talking. And he just puts it down and he goes,
Yeah.
That's what got him pissed off.
Now,
Yeah. they were
I wasn't gonna go knocking on anybody's doors without running by you first. So
appreciated. Yeah, those aren't the people you
knock on doors.
typically knock on their door. Usually, when people knock on their door, they either have a warrant or not. But you almost always with guns.
Yep.
So yeah.
So I was coming
Really
in to make
explain why
sure.
they seemed a little jumpy.
Yeah, from what now my friend on the moor wasn't with the pluripotent co because apparently somebody was stealing something from down below, but which again ain't my
Good
business.
money in that.
Good money. Don't blame nobody for dealing in it. But when you get into the weird shit, that guy comes to me, and he won't motion his hand, but he'll gesture his eye to the corner booth where Hanzo's sitting.
And he kind of glances. He doesn't look, but you see his eyes flit that way, and he goes, "Yeah, I was wondering if he was with you." He walked in. The three are a colorful trio.
You think we're a colorful trio? You should see it when Annie's with us.
Oh yeah, she's the vampire I see sometimes. Yeah, that girl is bright.
No fucking kidding. It makes for good cover at the very least.
And as you've been talking with him, Fred, how are you feeling after that too?
I imagine bad.
Yeah.
I imagine physically ill.
Yeah, so the water does help. At least helps get the taste out of your mouth. But there's some bar peanuts and pretzels, kind of stale, but they also kind of help. But as Carlos and Phil are talking, you actually got a tap on your shoulder. And when you turn, there is a biker vest, no sleeves, nice, bunch of tattoos, big bushy beard as well, but long hair tied back in a ponytail. And he's like, "I gotta say, brother, that was some funny shit. I never thought I'd be brave enough to do that shit. I loved fucking Pee Wee Man. That was a great movie." And he goes, "One of our friends is being a little bitch about losing all his money in pool. You want to fill in?" Gestures over, and there's a group of people over one of the pool tables, and they just seem like they're just, one of them's setting up the racks, and he's just like, "You up for a game?"
Well, yeah.
Oh no.
What if I roll really well and kick ass in pool?
We'll find out.
I hope so, but you're
No.
Fred.
Carlos,
Mhm.
you see this biker come up and pull Fred away to go to the pool table. Do you do anything?
I look at I physically shift my head to look at Hanzo. I glance my eyes to him, and I turn back to the barkeep. Hanzo came knowing he couldn't talk to people. Hanzo's gonna have to babysit.
But Fred,
Mm-hmm.
what do I have you roll? Yeah, let's do another act under pressure. This time the pressure is peer pressure, societal pressure.
Oh, he struggles under that constantly.
Micro pressure.
Okay.
I guess an
The
act under pressure
ability
would
I
be
can use to make this less terrible.
But yeah, unless you have a special ability.
I don't. Okay.
No.
We'll just roll it. It'll be fine. 6.
Aww.
Barely
Okay.
a failure.
Not the
It's been a
worst.
while since you played billiards, and at first
roll the
it's
help.
yeah, they kind of beat you very thoroughly in the first game, but there's some laughter as you like you do you do sink a few of the balls, but they are very clearly more experienced. But your new friend, as he says, Randy, introduced himself, or that's what the patch on his biker vest says.
I do want to
Yes.
roll. Can I roll a charm to make nice with them?
Yeah,
Not
Yeah,
manipulate someone, just a basic charm check.
yeah. Go ahead, just to see how they warm up to Fred.
All right, that's a 9.
Yeah, at
Aw.
first they were like laughing at you, but through the game you were just so sincere that they actually warm up to you, and they're like by the end of the first game, like they like happily set up another game and someone else plays you even though you lost. But it's like takes a little bit though. And Hanzo, there's a like since you're watching as Carlos is talking, you do see a few people who do shoot just like disgusted looks over at Fred, just like what the fuck is this guy doing here? It's like he's ruined the ambience kind of thing. You're not sure if they're mad at him or just at his audacity to come here and have a good time where he clearly doesn't belong. You've seen that look before.
The audacity of this bitch.
Yeah, he's sitting attentively, paying attention to Fred. Wouldn't be the first time he's had to bail him out of something.
And yeah, you get a very shitty light beer. But,
That is in character side.
yeah,
There's
it's
a
just
look
like,
of
I'm sure-
disappointment.
But
Of wistful disappointment.
Carlos, so going back to you and Phil's conversation, he goes, so something with fire killed some of the hell coyotes. Yeah, that's not going to be good for anyone, because I'll just say it, they're spiteful little sons of bitches who make it everybody's problem when they roll through.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. But you know, like I said, this is one of those more unusual sort of neighborhoods, not your normal, one like
yeah.
gang with Molotovs or homemade flamethrowers sort of a deal. That's why I was asking.
Hmm.
So, knowing that they're going to be probably out and about and a little more than pissed off, anything I should do to keep an eye out on them? Because, I'm with that guy. And he just makes a vague gesture back to the pool table and interesting times.
Mr. The Show.
Phil
Mr.
just
Show.
like chuckles and he goes, well, you definitely, when they're in a good mood, they definitely see him as a target, but in a bad mood, they might just see him as anger relief.
And that's why we have Mr. Broody over there with the beard.
Yeah, and that's why
Just
I
for
have
the
my friend
comedic
there.
image, he's still wearing the sunglasses.
I've never seen him take those off, for the record.
I mean, hey, I work a biker bar. There's a lot of dudes like that.
Yeah, but like dead of night, middle of the desert, no moon, still wearing the sunglasses.
He laughs and he goes,
I don't know, man. He's something else.
But he goes, no, I really shouldn't. No, and he like starts to tell you something. He goes, no, that just be a violation of bartender trust to tell you.
Hold on.
He seems like he does want to tell you something, but then he just had this thought of like, maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a charm to get that information out, but I'm just seeing if there's anything I can use with the magic, or if I should just do a straight charm roll.
Yeah, it'd be a
Manipulate
manipulate someone.
Which is just a straight whatever the dice decide. So dice, don't fuck up now. That's a 9.
9?
Mhm.
Okay, how do you prove to him that he's safe to tell you this?
Look, I understand. You're a businessman. You're a bartender. One of the most sacred duties known to mankind, next to priesthood, or so they say. I don't trust priests as much as I trust a bartender. But there's a reason I'm looking into why there's someone's using fire, given some of my more youthful tendencies. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't getting framed either. I ain't after the Hellcats. I just want to know what's going to happen to the Hellcoyotes. I just want to make sure that if I'm going to start poking around trying to figure out who this fire-using son of a bitch is, how I handle getting, not getting killed.
I mean, that's fair.
Plus, unfortunately, as much as I've tried to make sure he doesn't get into things, that one tends to get into trouble.
He
Last
does
time
seem
I was-
like a magnet for it.
Yeah, I came up to the shop after rescue. You know that waitress that I've been hired, the one with the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came up after he apparently rescued the kids from a chupacabra attack down by the canal here in town.
Oh, fuck, I heard there were some loose. Oh shit, good on
Yeah.
him.
Well, I helped make.
And he squints at Fred as he's playing pool, and he's just like, okay, maybe I don't charge him for that whiskey.
If you need to, I'll still pay for it. But no.
And he's like, it wasn't the good stuff, don't worry.
Yeah, no shit. Oh,
was
by
like,
the way, 7 act under pressure for the second game of pool.
Okay.
Just a success.
Barely a success.
Well, last time was barely a failure, and this one's barely a success. Keep
Listen,
going.
I have a -1 in act under pressure. Oh, but oh shit, I leveled up.
Hey.
Nice.
Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, right, you did the roll. He goes, yeah, you don't want to be pinched for someone else's crime. I know that too well. He kind of like leans forward as he just kind of lowers his voice. He goes, I don't know where the rest of them are at, but I'm pretty sure. And he lowers his voice, goes, Texas. He's up in one of the rooms. He locked himself in there this morning.
I'll go.
I don't know why he calls himself Texas. I think he comes from Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma ain't exactly an intimidating name.
I think
might
he comes
go-
from the handle. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I haven't seen him, but he's probably going to be up and running around. I haven't seen... It came in this morning. Some of them looked pretty panicked. It was Mac, Ginger, and Felix. Felix is the boss. And
Mhm.
Texas. Texas stayed behind while the rest went off doing whatever the fuck. Texas was spooked as hell. I heard him yelling something about they weren't going to go out. Gonna go out while there's a sandstorm going, which was weird. There was one last night. Normally there's and he just kind of shrugs. He goes, normally they're not this busy this time of year.
No, this ain't the right season for him. Like I said,
But
something weird's afoot.
of course you didn't hear that from me. They make themselves big enough asses. You could have heard that from anyone.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that from nobody. What are you talking about, bud? We were talking about how I've got it. Have you tried that new chalupa cabra yet? It's a new recipe we've been trying out. It's actually really good. One of my guinea pigs was that guy over there.
He goes, all right. If you describe it, he's like, that actually sounds kind of good, not gonna lie. And you can tell, even though he has like one of the whitest names possible, Phil, you do know that he does seem to be Mexican. And
Yep.
now that you've like been close and like actually talking to him for an extended period of time instead of just like bringing him food or a check, you actually see like a lot of the tattoos are like jaguars and Mesoamerican themed. A lot of Aztec warrior imagery.
Yep. Well, I know I know my little diner down the road ain't exactly the most traditionally speaking, not greasy garbage food, but I figured I'd change the menu up a little bit, add some more fun things. Gotta keep it up and fresh, especially with those fucking bloodsuckers just across the street.
And he laughs at that and
Is
he
that
goes,
a
wow.
slur in this world?
Yeah, and he's like, wow, don't think you have that in you. But he's like kind of like tease you some more, but then he's like, oh, well, speak of the fucking devil. And he like gives a slight head nod that's like one of those like barely twitch of the heads. And you look over, coming down from a like the stairs that leads to the hotel area in the back of the bar. He goes, there's Texas right there. And you see this rather large guy, not as big as Phil, but this guy, he looks like he was maybe like really into the gym when he was younger and kind of let himself go a bit, but he's still got that muscle mass. And big old biker's vest. He looks kind of, as for big and imposing he looks with all these tattoos and just biker getup, he kind of looks skittish as he just kind of like, he makes a point to like look out the windows, the the big bar windows, and just making like looking, and then he goes, takes the table, and the waitress goes and he starts getting or he orders something.
Okay.
And Hanzo, you'd see this guy walk out, and I don't know if Fred would notice this being so invested in the pool game, but you do see on the back of his vest, you do see the same skeletal, like skull face coyote imagery of the other Hell Coyote vest that you saw on the victims.
He takes another sip of the shitty beer and he cringes a little. Like a little part of him is dying with each sip.
Yeah, I've had beers that shitty.
Yeah.
You can tell he's having the internal conversation of stay strong.
So, Fred.
Yeah?
You're having a decent time playing pool with these guys. At first, like, you could tell they were inviting you over to like ridicule you and make fun of you, but it's just they actually seem to be having a good time playing with you, and like they're talking, and you realize that while Randy looks like a big intimidating guy, you realize he says he just works down at the scrapyard as a tow truck driver, and is actually his truck in the parking lot. And like some of the others, they're just people. They're just like retired bikers. It's just like just average people, it seems, and they just in your absurdity charmed your way into just hanging out with them. The absurdity of normalcy.
I bet some of them had, trouble with their dad. And Fred's just the Midwestern nice dad that they always wanted as children.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He's just a goofy dad.
I came here looking for a daddy and left with an actual dad.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Aim for the daddies, settle for the dad.
I am kind of a bear.
But like a black bear, you know, not that big, not like a grizzly.
Like
or
a
polar
teddy bear.
A sloth bear.
One of
So-
the weird looking ones.
Carlos, you see him. He like doesn't. You Hanzo, you're watching him too. But you see this guy Texas. He kind of jittery, like his legs bouncing as he looks at his watch, and then he gets up and goes over to the payphone because it's the 90s and there's still payphones at places, and he like punches in something because it's like you can't hear it because it's further back over by where the bathrooms are, and he seems to be he calls someone and starts having a conversation with someone.
So after having some polite conversation
I
about
think Hanzo, you'd probably be closer to this.
Yeah.
But
Would
not
he be
close
able
enough to
hear it?
really hear without getting closer.
Yeah. So is there a way he can just kind of get closer without looking up too obvious about it? Like
I
if
want to make
it's on the
this
way
a
to the
game where I just
bathroom.
keep saying, yeah, I don't want to keep saying act under pressure, but that's like,
it's a good go-to, especially in a situation of ours being in an unfamiliar area.
yeah, and you're trying to keep a facade. So yeah, do
Yeah.
an act under pressure.
Very well.
Unless you have like I can't remember if professionals have an ability where you can use a different act thing.
That's a 15.
Well, never mind. You actually go, and there's actually kind of you stop because you're actually by the jukebox is sort of on the way, and you actually stop and start paging through it, just like acting casual, and the guy doesn't even look at you, and other people don't seem to be paying attention, but you hear him, just his side of the conversation go, "Where the fuck are you guys? You said you'd be back." I don't know. I'm not going to drive out there with that thing still out there. No, don't you fucking dare. No. Fine, fuck. I'll be there. Just be ready. I don't want to be in this fucking town any longer. And he slams the phone and walks right past you, doesn't even look at you. And
He selects Bad Moon on the Rise on the jukebox.
and Carlos, you see Texas. He gets yelled at by the waitress, and because he just completely ignores the beer he didn't touch and doesn't pay for, and Phil's just like, I'll just add it to their tab.
Yeah.
But this would be about the time. Winifred, you've been flitting around above, following Itzel, as you see her pull into a biker bar, and you recognize Hanzo and or Carlos's vehicle, whoever drove there.
I'd say if we thought about it, we'd be taking the jalopy, because of all three of them, no one's going to notice or try to steal the jalopy.
Tommy's not back yet. Oh no. But so it is kind of like on the edge of the desert, so you can discreetly turn back into a person. But you see Itzel pull the motorcycle in and park. Winifred here?
Yes.
Okay. So Itzel, she parks and along the line of the other bikes, and she just kind of waits for you to reemerge from the darkness.
Oh, I didn't think that one through.
Huh?
I didn't think this through. She's thinking to herself. It's like, fuck.
It is like, well, it is like a hotel all around. So there's not really a back. It's like right up against the desert, and it's like dark enough that, while it might be weird that you're just walking out of the darkness, you know, no one would see you be a bat. Not sure if you want to be parading that around.
Well,
I'm just gonna say you can find someplace and not have to roll. I'm just saying it'll be easy for you. Don't worry.
the thing is, I kind of want to do it in front of. Oh my god, I'm blanking on her name.
Itzel.
Itzel, thank you. I kind of want to do it in front of her, like as a sign, like, hey, I'm trusting you with this bullshit, so she knows that I'm genuine in everything that I've told her today.
Okay. So yeah, I guess she would have parked, and she's just kind of standing in the parking lot, just kind of smoking before she goes in. While it is a biker bar, Phil does have a no smoking inside policy.
That's good. I mean, there are actual humans in there that could get lung cancer. So.
Yeah, and it is the 90s, so it's kind of surprising he would be so considerate. But yeah, I just say that there's a moment where she kind of just like walks off to the side and near the edge of the parking lot, and you know, you'd be clear enough to do that.
So you know how awkward bats are when they flop onto the ground.
Yeah.
It's kind of gonna awkwardly flop pancake on the ground, and then I'm going to reverse whatever I did.
She's like, when the bat just flops to the ground in front of her, she's like, "Oh, poor little." You know, she's in Spanish. She goes, "Oh, poor little thing," and she like reaches down to like see if it's hurt, but then you like reverse back into a person. She's like, "Oh, ridiculous."
She's like, "Oh, you poor baby," and the bat begins to horribly spasm and just.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, warn a person before you do that."
God, she would have said, "Hi, Popotacita."
We're in public, ma'am.
Oh, I would, but bats don't have vocal cords. That was weird.
Fair.
That was the first time I've ever done that. That was very strange.
Yeah, you're like one of 3 people I've met who can do shit like that. That's rare as shit.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, and she's just like, she's like flabbergasted. She's just like, I didn't know we could still do that. And now she's just thinking like, you see this, she like sees the thing, and you can tell she's thinking, can I do that?
It's like, honestly, you probably can.
Oh, well, that's something for another time. But because I saw one of their bikes, and
just the one.
Just one of them. I was looking at some of the other bikes, and, like, that's what she was kind of doing, like kind of looking around the building just to see if there were any other bikes, you know, with their. And when she points it out, there's like a coyote skull emblem on it.
Well, easy enough to spot them.
Yeah. When you're kind of like, she just goes, when you're in a gang like that, you want people to pay attention to you.
gonna get some attention.
And
today.
there's a dinging, or like the not a ding. I don't know if the bar would have bells on it, but the door swings open, and almost simultaneously as as they kind of like look at each other at the same time, Texas and Itzel look at each other and almost simultaneously go, "Son of a bitch, you!" And Itzel like starts storming up to him as he starts going over to his bike, and he goes, "Fuck off, Itzel." And she's like, "No, no, no, I just need to talk. I just need to talk, Tex." And Carlos, you see this start happening from the inside.
Oh,
So you see this
like within the 30 seconds of him having left the door, Carlos is getting up. He's like, okay, gonna have to get involved into this now before he gets too far away. Thanks for the help, bud. Phil. And
Phil nods.
Carlos is out the door. Only to see.
And
Hanzo had watched Tex walk out of the door, but reluctant to pursue because then looks back at Klutzman. It's like, I can't.
Yeah,
leave
I
him
haven't noticed
unattended.
that at all.
I can't leave him unattended.
so
I mean, he
Okay,
has new
so
friends.
You
you-
mark yourself as uncool by approaching me and telling me it's time to go, thereby showing everyone that I'm with you? Or do you leave me to the wolves?
The coyote specifically, but you know.
This is the dark choice before you.
Carlos was like,
See?
oh, Hanzo's there. Hanzo will make sure he doesn't die.
See, you seem to be having a good time, and you know the people seem to appreciate you. So I don't want to spoil that for you by me being a stinker.
So
Coming up to this grown ass man is like, by the way, it's time to go. Like I'm your dad.
Your daddy.
Anyone can be a dad.
Yeah, being a dad
So
is
shitty.
a choice.
I was just gonna catch Shitty up real quick. Itzel and Winifred pulled up to the bar. Winifred revealed that she can shapeshift into a bat, and Itzel and Tex saw each other as Tex was walking out, and it was on sight. And now she's walking very emphatically up to him, They're like, "Hey, buddy, I just want to fucking talk." And
Oh.
Carlos is following outside while Fred continues to have fun.
Okay.
So you start going up, and it's been kind of a windy day. Yeah, geez. And you start seeing Tex just as starts going over to his motorcycle, pulling out his keys with one hand, and you see Carlos. He starts reaching for the back of his belt, but he doesn't pull anything out. But it's a very you've seen that gesture before. He's definitely seems like he's carrying something.
Yep.
But Itzel walks up and she doesn't she's just like, she goes, "I just need to talk to you, Tex, at the rest of the group." As he's trying to get on and he starts he straddles his bike and just trying to turn it on, and he goes, "Fuck off, Itzel. I wasn't involved with what happened to you. I wasn't there." And she goes, "Yeah, no one was fucking there when I needed it." And she's getting very, very upset. But I think actually it'd be round this time, just because it's easier. Olivia, you following the directions and you see the sign of the drinking devil. You've probably passed it a few times, just never had any reason to stop. Maybe once or twice there was a snake that got into one of the hotel rooms, but that was it. But you and Connor see this, and already you see Winifred standing off watching this, as you see Carlos in a new leather jacket standing on the porch area outside the bar. As you see, don't know if you or Connor would recognize who they're watching.
think I've
muscular woman.
Oh my.
You might have, but yeah, you see them watching this
Connor was
confrontation that seems to be happening.
Well, Olivia will pull up.
It's been a few months. I can't remember.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
Olivia wasn't there when that happened, but she'll see that confrontation starting. It's like, ah, shit, here we go.
And
She'll hop out of her car.
I will be
Yeah,
moving
you would
forward.
recognize Olivia's truck.
So we see
Oh,
this one man running away from our group, essentially.
So they're just kind of watching what seems to be, if I can't remember if Connor recognizes her, but you'd see a woman like yelling and arguing with the man who's sitting on his bike trying to get it started.
Remind me, would a high-powered flashlight actually hurt a vampire?
No, it will fuck him up if you blind him, though.
I mean, to be fair,
Not
a
like
high enough,
physically fuck him up. It'll blind anyone, though.
Yeah.
a high enough flashlight, you could fuck up any living thing.
Yes.
Is Olivia moving to intercept?
Yes.
Connor's gonna put a hand on her shoulder and go, wait, we don't know what's going on here.
I
at
know.
all.
I'm just trying to stop a fight from breaking out, though.
It doesn't. I don't know if it's so much a fight. Could be. I don't know. Relationship problems. We don't know these people.
Yeah, but the big one looks like she's about to.
Carlos is going to slide in at this point, and the two are arguing. It's like, funny that you're wanting to just talk to him. I was wanting to talk to him too. Snuck out of the bar before I could get there.
Wait, you want to talk to him?
Fucking hell! What the fuck
And
are you doing here?
goes to intercept. I'm on the case.
Oh fuck no!
And Tex turns around like, "Who the fuck are you? What the?"
And Tommy just latches onto his leg, like.
Oh my god. Winifred's gonna
Hey,
come
you
up.
latch on. Whose leg do you latch onto?
Onto
The
the
biker
guy Carlos. Yeah, the guy Carlos wanted to talk to.
All I can imagine is
Yeah.
someone startled. It's like, Jesus Christ, is that Gremlin?
Yeah, Tommy
Wait.
just kind of seems to emerge from the parking lot in between the vehicles. It just kind of latches on, and he's like,
How did
"What
you
the
get
fuck?"
here?
And
I
you
was
actually
in
see
the
that he
dumpster.
God, he
Liminal
does
spirit.
like tries to kick you off. He's like, "Get the fuck off of me, you freak!"
No,
Wait,
you aren't escaping your sins.
Tommy,
Jesus Christ, Tommy.
Tommy, fucking hell!
You wanted to talk to him, so.
Pause.
I didn't want.
As hold on. Pause.
Okay.
As this is starting to get, as this has been going on, the wind began to grow a little more fierce, a little more insistent, pulling at your clothes. And you've never seen one of these at night, but Winifred, you'd seen them. You see, like, you hear you'd be the first one to hear it. And you turn around and there is a dust devil whirling across the desert where you had landed and is now making its way as dust and sand starts to whip up and fill the air around you. Now becoming obvious to everyone as the area is suddenly engulfed in a sudden sandstorm, and you hear Tex shout, "No, not fucking again! Get off of me!" And you, Carlos and Tommy, you're close enough. You see him. He actually pulls a gun out that was tucked behind his belt, and he's. What do you do now?
You gonna shoot the fucking dust devil?
So Carlos,
Why are
like
you-
the dust devil swirled in, and then a sandstorm erupted around you.
Tommy let go of his leg. Go inside.
Nah, I'm
Heck.
staying out here.
Tommy, this isn't a normal sandstorm. I'm pretty sure it's going to kill us the longer we stay out here. So why don't we all go back in for a drink and have a nice conversation rather than fucking die?
That's fair.
Connor,
And
is
that-
this what
and
you
that is-
saw?
Connor, this is very similar to what you saw.
Oh
Almost
yeah,
exactly.
he's going. Yeah, this is pretty close to what I saw, and I would say, stay the fuck away from it.
And I'm not gonna try to do it because I can't, and I don't want to yell. But there is suddenly like a roar, feline and large and hungry and angry, rips through the sandstorm, and it is getting close.
I turn on my my high-powered flashlight and shine it into the sandstorm.
It kind of makes things worse because now the sand that is really right up against you is reflecting this and just kind of makes it worse. That's one of the problems
Olivia doesn't like flash it in anyone's face, but she just like swings it, moves it around, trying to get this thing, whatever this is, attention.
And now, Tommy, you let go of the guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
He, as soon as you let go and this roar goes, you hear the motorcycle finally turn over and start revving up as he's like, "Fuck this! I'm getting out of here." And
You're
Etzel
gonna
tries to reach
outrun it.
out and stop him.
What's that,
And-
Carlos?
You aren't gonna outrun it. You don't run these kinds of things.
That's something you would know very well, Connor.
Yeah.
And
Good
if no one stops him, he knocks away Itzel's hand as she tries to stop him, grab him, and he starts. Like, if no one
And-
stops him, he is going to take off.
I
Can
want
I-
to stop him. Yes.
Okay. Kick
I
some
would
ass.
like to help out.
Okay, roll help out and then kick some ass, Winifred.
That is a 9.
I'm going to
So-
use my unholy strength to use weird for that, just to make sure I grab this motherfucker right off his bike.
Okay. 7 or 9, you get a +1. So you get a +1. But you expose yourself to danger, Olivia.
Okay. I mean, that's what I was trying to get this thing's attention. So,
I got an 11.
11? Okay.
you had +1?
If
Callie?
it's a +1, then it's a 12, but I don't have it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
you
mean, 10 plus is still. So
it.
it's not really a combat situation, so it's not. You don't get those bonuses. But I will say, Olivia, there's a moment where like you're turning around and flashing the light, and because you hear the thing, and the guy kind of swerves to not run into you, but that allows him to go right into Winifred as she basically just clotheslines him off the bike. Short little Winifred just like hitting a steel bar, he just flops off of it as his motorcycle wobbles and you hear it crash in the dust.
I'm gonna grab
Perfect.
him and sprint to the bar and throw him back into it.
Okay. You reach down to grab him and he's like struggling. Well, he just had the wind knocked out of him, but he like starts fighting you as you haul him up to his feet. And it is then that because you have the best night vision and the best senses, it doesn't really help with Olivia waving this fuck off powerful beam of light around.
I have exposed myself to danger.
Yeah. You hear that rumbling growl again, and this time it sounds like a predatory animal stalking through this darkness. And you look over and see, and Connor, you'd probably see this as well, because you feel it glance back at you, but you're not its target right now, as you see a figure slinking forward on, seems like 4 limbs, a being of flame, barely, heavily obscured by the sand and barely seen, seems to sink forward like a almost feline form, but then it rears up onto 2 limbs and slashes towards Olivia. Act under pressure.
Who act
Olivia,
me?
please.
Okay.
Yes.
Act under pressure.
Winifred, or Connor, you would have a chance to roll protect someone if you wanted, because you would be the only ones to see this going at Olivia.
Hey, that's an 11.
Although,
Hey.
doesn't seem like you need it.
Okay.
I would
Actually,
like-
no, you don't actually get to roll that. I'm sorry, that's a
Oh.
really good roll. You don't see this coming at you.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn it! I lost that.
I-
That's such a good roll.
So if
Okay,
Connor
gotcha.
sees it, can he jinx it?
Yes.
All right, I would like to try and jinx it and interfere with it, which I'm going to say interfere with it, trying to go after or attack my dudes.
Okay.
I'll see how Connor does, and then I'll roll to protect someone if I have to.
Let's see. I got a 7. I would like to jinx it to interfere with it.
Okay.
I go so flavor wise. He's going just to let out another like loud cough, and then just essentially his curse just lightly brushes and fucks with that curse, and it causes it to, I guess, glitch for a second. I don't know how the curse is. Like, essentially, it's just like a moment of, oh god, that should not work that way.
Yeah. And you cough, and it could easily be mistaken you're coughing from the sand.
Yeah.
But just like that. And the it's like you said, it's kind of like a glitch where these two malignant forces clash, and Olivia, you hear this scream out, eerily human, right behind you. You turn just in time to see a figure bring a flaming fist down right where you are at. That which would give you the chance to use your 11 to easily step back from this, and you see it's strange. At first you think it was a humanoid, but then like it smashes this fist into the ground, and then it moves like a large feline, but then it like splits as if it's not solid as these flames flow around you towards Winifred and Tex. You still cannot see what this thing is in the sand, but you just see this flash of flame. Fred and Hanzo, like, by this point, you'd hear, like, people from the inside are like, everyone on the inside is now paying attention to the outside because there's been screams, a bar fight seemed to be almost starting, and then this freakish sandstorm. So, Hanzo and Fred, you'd be aware that something weird is going on down outside.
Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. May I roll preparedness to see if I have a fire extinguisher in my truck?
Sure. Although that would require you to go get it from the truck.
I'm still nearby the truck.
Yeah.
That's
It's just it wouldn't be an immediate access to it.
No, but that's a 12.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Fires are something, if a car overheats or there's another fire out there, it's always going to have one. But yeah, you have
Cool,
one.
I'm going to run to my truck.
Okay. But, Winifred, this thing, you see, almost looks like a bunch of small fire cats, if it could even be called that through the smoke or the sand, are charging towards you before they once again merge into what looks like a human charging at you full, like, linebacker sprint.
Alright, she's gonna pick this guy up
And-
by the scruff of his jacket and go, hey, it's a catch! Take him inside! And she's gonna throw him.
Okay, what would that roll be? I guess kick some ass?
Alright.
Or, would that be an act under pressure or a kick some ass?
Up to you.
Act under pressure,
Under pressure. Okay, so
because you're not actually fighting.
that would be a 10 for that then, instead of.
Okay, you set out what you do. Okay. Yeah, you throw this guy at Itzla as you hear her go, "What?" And that, like, when you, well, she goes, "What?" And then that's now you know where she's at. And you toss this guy, and you hear the oof of her catching him, and she's like, oh, "Fuck, I don't want to save this asshole." As you hear her start running towards the bar,
Pretty sure it's after that guy.
and yes, the thing shifts, no longer paying attention to you, and goes after Itzel.
That confirms it. We're gonna fucking find out what this guy knows about this crap. We have to protect his stupid ass.
Carlos, I think you would be the closest one standing on the bar porch when Tommy too. The two of you would be the closest. And we're actually getting close to the end. So last actions for this.
Okay.
Hanzo, I'd say you and Fred could probably react to.
Yeah, he's stepping outside to see what the commotion is.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go check on that commotion. So you enjoy this round of pool.
They don't stop you, but like one of the ladies, Regina, she's just like, Fred, where the fuck are you going? But she doesn't stop you. She seems a little unnerved by it all.
Oh, you know, just taking care of business. And as he goes, he plays tequila again.
So you
Everyone's
and Hanzo
gonna
step
think
out.
he's an insane badass.
So, Carlos, Tommy, Hanzo, and Fred, as the two of you step out onto the porch, wind whipping around you, sand getting everywhere. You see Itzel carrying the guy who's like over her shoulder in like a fireman's carry. She comes running forward and she goes, "It's fucking after him. What do I do?"
Put him
And
inside.
you see what looks to be the glow of a fire growing as it nears.
See, Carlos, seeing that glow of fire, gets a small smile on his face. He's like, "Get him inside. We'll help. We'll probably fix this. Maybe."
Okay.
I'm gonna set things on fire and just.
So the group kind of parts to let her run past with him.
Mm-hmm.
As she starts to pass, you finally get a somewhat clear picture as a massive, larger than any human you've seen, a hand reaches out, but instead of flesh, it is just fire in the shape around a blackened skeleton, reaching out and grabs the back of the vest. What do you do? It is going to pull him back and possibly Itzel, one or the other.
Tommy's going to.
You see another hand reach out and grab onto Itzel's shoulder as well. It seems it is taking them both if it can.
Okay. Carlos, if you would.
I'm going to do a magic roll to see if since I in particular can help control fire a bit, see if I can pull the fire out and make its grasp a little weaker.
Go ahead and use magic.
Because this
with brand new mechanic. I'm sorry, but this is with disadvantage. Roll 3d6 and take the lower of the two.
Hey, that's from Interstitial.
Yep. This is disadvantage though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 4, a 3, and a 3 on the dice, so I'm taking the 2 3s. But with my +3 and weird, that's a 9.
Nice. Okay, so use magic. And works imperfectly. But effect and a glitch. Let's see, what glitch? Okay, it has a problematic side effect. But you get to pick an effect. Like, inflict one harm, ignore armor, enchant a weapon, do one thing beyond the human limitations, are a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature. That might be appropriate. Trap a specific monster or person, evict a spirit or curse from the person. That might also be.
I'm gonna try the evict the curse or from the spirit or person. Because Carlos would be like, cool, even if I'm the one who gets the curse in this situation, I'm more equipped to handle it than some drunk biker dude who's on the fritz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you reach out and you try to manipulate this flame, this hateful flame, as it reaches out. And just like Connor felt, it's for a moment, it's like you are engulfed in flame yourself. But then you feel it slip off of you and latch onto someone else nearby. As you see, suddenly the hand that was grabbing Tex switches from his vest, to grabbing Itzel's other arm, as you feel its ire shift towards her. But Tex, for the moment, falls to the ground and no longer seems to be the target.
So who is it latched onto now?
Itzel. It's now grabbed both of her arms and is trying to drag her back into the sandstorm. But Hanzo, Fred, and Tommy.
Well, like all good people, Tommy is going to make the smart move and try to attack fire with a metal weapon. Let's fucking go.
Okay, roll kick some ass.
All right. Let me do 1 second.
And I know we're getting close to the end. Just wanted to get everyone.
I got
chance
a
to react.
9.
A 9.
Yeah.
You inflict harm. Okay. How much harm does your weapon do?
All right. Sorry. Let me check. It's been a while. 3 harm. Messy.
Okay. And you're trying to do it to
distract the fire so it can let go of Itzel.
Yeah. And rather than stabbing it, you just kind of sidestep around her and bring the spike, your bindle stick, down like a staff, and it cracks across the bones. And you actually hear the crack as it does cause it to release her, and she falls to the ground from the, pulling against it herself. And
fucking book it!
It backhands you and does 3 fire damage. Although it just does 3 damage. There's not really like damage types.
Okay.
Ow!
And, yeah, it like you cracked it and across the forearms, or what would have been the forearms, and it just like rears back and smacks you. And still, you can't see what this figure is as it lets go. The limbs seem to fade back into flame and sand.
All right. Tommy's going to get back up and be ready just in case.
Yeah. There is, as I'll say that since we're at the end, Hanzo or Fred, was there anything specific that either of you two wanted to do?
I step out of the bar, see this anarchy, and go, "Oh, they were right. What the fuck am I gonna do?"
Hanzo?
Yes, I'm just
I mean, it's perfectly fine if there's like not anything you can think of. I mean, Tex is still dazed on the ground, and Itzel is like crawling away because her arms are burned. She's no longer worried about picking up this asshole. that she was about to get into a brawl with anyways.
And is the monster still focused on her?
At the moment, no. It seems to be like not circling, but like almost pacing back and forth like a pissed off tiger, as it's just seems to be once again focused on Tex, but he is now at the feet of some people that actually heard it, and it seems to be a little more calculating than the blind rush you saw it do.
Well, he is my lead, but I also don't want to leave her to die, so best I can manage to try and bring them both inside.
Yeah, that'd be. I'll just say that you could do that because they're right there. Are you? It's all you'd be able to get her in, no problem. But this guy, this
I
would be
can
the
imagine
last
he
roll.
is a little resistant.
Yeah, I guess this would be the last roll of the night if you wanted to act under pressure to try and get this guy to safety or back into the bar.
Sure thing.
The assumed safety.
That would be a 9.
9. Okay. Worst outcome, hard choice, or a price to pay?
Lay it on me, boss.
Okay. Hard choice. As you reach down to help pull this guy up, you see the flames roil as if in fury at you helping deny, as if it's upset that you're denying it. And you realize in that moment it is charging. It is charging at all of you, at your group. It's you, Tommy, Carlos, Itzel's to safety, Fred is there, and this guy on the ground. It will go through, it is charging to go through and burn all of you. Or you can leave it. You can either save Tex and all your friends will be hurt, or you can give it Tex. It is your friend suffering or this killer being taken. And I don't want to be coloring your choices, but
yeah,
this is a hard outcome.
A hard choice.
And this is become a protect him or protect your friends. Not to be hitting you with such a heavy thing right at the end.
No, that's good. That's what this game's all about.
Although we could leave it there and pick up with the choice on the next time, but
cliffhanger.
Wow.
Give me time to think on it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to do a cliffhanger, yeah, that would be a good spot. So small little stinger skip, and then we can stop.
Okay.
As this is going on, the sandstorm engulfing the Thirsty Devil Bar and Hotel, as you come face to face with this ancient curse. You're not the only ones dealing with it, as nearly the opposite side of town, another sandstorm rages, and there is a scream of a man before he is silenced, and his body is dropped in the middle of a street as people go running away or seeking shelter in the sudden sandstorm, as the sand dissipates, the flames leave only a single man of half Japanese heritage standing over the body of another biker, a bullet wound in his stomach and the bullet wound in his back still bleeding.
Oof.
That's where we'll leave off.